Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism.
How are you doing?
How we doing there, gorgeous?
All right, I want to try your black-eyed pea hummus.
Okay.
I also want to do sesame kale salad.
Large or small?
Large.
Okay.
And what is tempeh? What is that?
Tempeh is cultured soy.
It's cultured soy. Let me go with I'm gonna try that. The smothered
Tempeh?
How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous?
I attended 3 predominantly white colleges.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I went to Millersville University in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Lehigh University, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, predominantly white.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls who were attracted to me in undergrad.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls who were attracted to me in graduate school.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
There were white girls attracted to me in my doctoral program.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I've always had white women who were interested in a romance with the Prince of Pan Africanism.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
I've always had that. They bought me clothes. They slid stuff under my door. They invited me out to dinner. They offered me cookies from their cookie jar.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
They left cards on my desk in the middle of class for everybody to see it. Yes, I had white women pursue me at every level of education.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Did I date a single one? I did not.
Financially, the less money you have.
Respect them? I did not. I respect all human beings. I respect all human beings. But I did not date any of them. Were some of them attractive? Absolutely.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Some of them were built just like black women.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Some of them grew up with black women.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Those white women were not unattractive at all.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian. They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
And I did not have intercourse with any of them. Ever. Ever.
How we doing there, gorgeous?
Okay?
I done found condoms, alcohol bottles all over the place. This is not the drink spot.
Cows, horses, chickens.
The loosey goosey. You the loosey goosey. You I'm gonna go to the pet store and I'm gonna get about 50 baby mice. And the minute one of you Negroes starts squealing about election day, I'm gonna throw a mice on your ass. Black pigs.
All right, Cook Rochelle, thank you so much for tuning on in. We're going to get through this video today for sure. We got about maybe an hour worth of video to get through. We're going to get right on into it. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you guys for all your support. Love y'all. Cook Rochelle, let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
I think I'm going to leave this one on here for just a moment before we get into the video for today. Welcome, everyone. You know, one of my children, they left a cup over here. That's just me. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like stuff to be where it needs to be. I apologize. They was watching TV and let me get that. I want to lead us up here because today, and shout out to the Cookie Crush chat, we had a wonderful week. Today, I was off, so I spent close to 6 hours working on the next segment of the documentary. And right now, I'm dealing with Umar from the time where he first starts working in the Philadelphia School District as a school psychologist. And then in 2005, he resigns, and then he claims to become a principal, but he didn't get his principal certificate until 2008. And right before we started this live, I was doing a little more work on the documentary, and I was looking at Umar's child support docket, and you'll see the correlation clearly. Because by the time we get to 2005, Umar's not working consistently anymore. And so you start to see generic orders appear on his child support docket, and then also orders for employer to terminate wage garnishment. And the reason why is because Umar didn't work there anymore. This guy, he tells people that he worked as a school psychologist for all these, you know, a decade, 15, 20 years. I've heard him say that he was in 2017, he said that he was a child therapist for almost 20 years. No. Umar's career as a school psychologist was for 5 years in the Philadelphia School District. That's it. Now, he did work a little bit here and there in the charter school system as a school psychologist. He claims to have worked as a principal in 2006, but he didn't get his certificate to be a principal until 2008. So that's another lie right there. And then if you look at his child support docket from the first baby mama, you'll start to see generic order during those years, more and more. And why? Because he wasn't working. They were trying to find out where he was working. That's what a generic order means. They couldn't find anything. So this ought to say that Umar's career as a school psychologist was minimal. And then by the time we get to 2005, he's not working consistently. And then by the time we get to 2010, 2011, he's not working at all. And then there is possibility that he worked for a very short time, for a matter of months in 2014. But he claims to be this great school psychologist and a child therapist, which is something totally different. You have to be licensed to be a child therapist. He's never had any licenses, in fact, any professional licenses. In fact, he currently holds no professional certifications and haven't for quite some years. So anyway, I want to put that up there because as I'm getting deeper into this research dealing with Umar's the timeline during that time period, these things come up. And then of course in 2005 it was a big year for Umar because he goes to Africa. And in my opinion, because he admitted he had caught malaria, but I think he had an episode up over there and he was hallucinating and all this stuff. And so then when he comes back to the United States, he quits. He resigns as a school psychologist. He resigns from the UNIA, puts in his resignation letter. And ironically, I think it's like a month later, he's speaking in Virginia, still claiming to be part of the UNIA. This next segment, he's such a lie. I mean, I caught him in so many different lies. This next segment, it'll be for members only. It's going to amaze people. Because I really started putting these pieces together like detective level stuff. And you guys are going to be amazed at this guy. He's been lying and scamming for over 20 years now. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, everyone. I appreciate it. I want to get right on into the video because we have to get through it today. And I want to try to get up out of here as quickly as possible. Not because I don't want to hang out with y'all, but because I got to get up. I was earlier tomorrow. I was off today. Thank you all again for tuning on. And there is a poll question. The poll question is, does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 student desks to FDMG? And if people don't know what that's about, and maybe you didn't see yesterday's show, there's a brother who attempted to donate to Umar 225 student desks. And he sent Lene, shout out to Lene, some text messages with a text exchange that he had with Umar. She sent them to me, and then we reviewed them yesterday, but the brother also came on as an interview guest yesterday. I think what I'm going to do, if I have time today after the live show, I may not. have time. But I'm going to just edit out that section of the interview and then repost it here on YouTube so that it'll get more traction and more people will be able to see it without everything else that we were covering yesterday. And then we also had another brother come on the day before. Yeah, I think it was the day before. I think it was the day before. I might have been on Monday. Who went up there to these abandoned buildings and took video footage. That's the most recent video footage that's online. And he was a former supporter and he donated to Umar. The brother who attempted to donate the desk, he donated money to Umar as well. So I'm thinking about editing that section out too and then putting that up as a standalone video here on YouTube if I have the time. At some point, I'll get to it. But if people don't know, let me just share this with you. And this will take less than 5 minutes, okay? So let me read this to you. This was the initial text message. I redacted some information in the top redaction there in red. That's Umar Johnson's phone number, even though everybody knows it. Just for cybersecurity purposes, I'm always careful. This is from September 6th of 2024. Good evening from, redacted the brother's name. And then my bro, and then, from such and such. Yeah, my bro. Okay. And I redacted the brother's name there. Okay. Good evening. Okay. So let me just be clear. The brother gives the state that he was in at that time. So I redacted that. Okay. Good evening from that state, my bro. I'm such and such, which was his name. I redacted that. A small business owner. And I have come across a school closing in, gives another state, and they're willing to donate desk and various items to another charitable organization. I have 2 semi trucks that I operate, and I'm willing to pack and transport those items to your building. The only thing I ask is that you provide the labor to unload the freight and half of the fuel to cover the 1,520 mile trip. So this brother one way was willing to drive 1,520 miles to deliver these desks to Umar. Yes, my wife and I have donated in 2022. So he and his wife, I think he said his ex-wife, I think he said that, donated in 2022. Okay, so this message was sent September 6th of 2024. Umar responded with, yes, sir. Good Garvey Day. I'm very interested. Do we have a list of items? Although pics would be better. And then the brother sent them a pic of the desk that in this case, they're wrapped and palletized. All right. You can see them better in this picture right here. Okay. This is all on the same day. And then you see some desks that are not palletized and set out. They look nice. And then the brother texts back at 9 desks per pallet, 25 pallets on the trailer, 225 student desks. So this brother was willing to donate these 225 student desks. Umar responded on that same day, September 6, 2024, need those. Right? Let's continue. Same day, September 6, 2024. The brother said, can you accept the predetermined conditions for delivery? I'll have 24 hours of availability upon arrival to unload the freight. I'll be looking to return. I'll be looking a return load home, booking a return load home after delivery. If there was a surplus of freight in the area, I deliver for free for the cause, but I'd probably have to deadhead down, and he explained what that was yesterday, deadhead down to Washington or over to Harrisburg for my next load. Umar responded with cost, like how much is it going to cost? Okay, and all on the same day, September 6, 2024, the brother said, my typical rate is $2.50 per mile plus fuel surcharge. This is diesel. I won't charge a freight rate, just half of the fuel. This is crazy, which would equate to approximately $1,738 in diesel. So half of that is all I'd ask for. Plus, you provide the labor to unload. Half of that would be $869. Okay, this brother's going way out of his way. He's willing to travel 1,520 miles one way to deliver these desks to Umar. All right, so what does Umar do next? September 6th, again, Umar responds, we can do it, King. I would need a W-9 as we can't pay without it as we are tax-exempt nonprofit. The brother said on the same day, absolutely. Good afternoon, my brother. This is October 4th now. Okay, about a month later. Good afternoon, my brother. I'll have that shipment ready to head your way by Monday if you're still interested. Umar stopped responding, and the brother sent Umar a message on Instagram, and Umar blocked him. And then the brother on December 24th of 2024 sent him another text and said, unblock me, bro. Sad. Just sad. We calculated how much these desks would cost retail. I can't remember what the figure was, but retail and wholesale. And for Umar to only pay $869, and that would be just half of what it's going to cost this brother in terms of gas, diesel. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. But what it shows is that I bet you if this brother said, listen, I'm going to donate to you $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, whatever the value of these desks were based upon what we calculated, I'm sure Umar would have taken that. Anybody remember what the calculation was? I can't remember. But Umar's not interested in that because that pushes the project forward. What Umar is interested in is money. Yeah, you're right. He's ungrateful. He's ungrateful. Yeah, and the calculations come out to $3.86 per desk. And there were people in the chat room saying that those desks can go for up to $300 for one. See? Yeah. It's 300. Yeah, because we had calculated it yesterday. Anyway, that's why, it was something like, I can't remember what it was, because I think someone said $300 per desk. Someone said it was more than that, but let's go with the $300. So if we take $300, where's my calculator? If we take $300, we're just going to multiply it by the number of desks. Where is that at? Oh, here it is right here, 225 desks. Okay, so we're going to take 225 by 300, $67,500 if they cost $300 for 225 student desk. So Umar would have to pay $869 to get these desks delivered, but Umar decides not to and blocks the brother. Okay, let's say the desks were $200. We're going to take 225 and we're going to multiply that by 200. That's $45,000. Okay, even if let's say even the desks were $100 a piece, 225 desk times 100 is $22,500, and Umar only had to pay $869, but he blocks the brother. And this is someone who donated to Umar. So that's why I have this poll question before we get in the video for today. Does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 student desks to FDMG? 5% say yes, 95% said no. All right. Okay. And again, I'm planning on actually editing that section out and re-uploading it when we had the brother who came on, who sent Umar these texts and was trying to deliver these. We had him on yesterday as interview guest. Yeah, Umar, he's a trip. He's a trip. Okay, let's get going here because we have about an hour to get through, and I'm going to try to limit my commentary, and I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure he will. Umar's going to bring up something dealing with FDMG. Let's see real quick. Phi Taylor 777 became a member. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, members, I'm working on the next segment for the document. I'm already like maybe 45 minutes into it. I may break it up into two sections. Just depends. It's really interesting. Like I was getting to, boy. The video where Umar is speaking, you remember I told you guys the earliest video that I had that I've been able to find of Umar speaking, and I was trying to figure out what year it was. I actually got the year, I got the location now. I even got the flyer for it. That'd be in a documentary. Boy, it's crazy. Today I was like, yeah, we get it in. Anyway, okay. Enterprise, what's up? Enterprise Entertainment says you can tell he was lying in that vid at the open. Yeah, which the intro video? Let me just look. Oh, yeah. Well, he's talking about the white women and stuff. Yeah. Umar, he lies a lot. Thank you, Enterprise Entertainment. By the way, since you bring this up, Umar's a pathological liar. So when I'm watching the videos today of Umar explaining his early careers, he starts in 2000. 2001 is when he starts as a school psychologist. In 2000, he does an internship. If memory serves me correctly. As he's explaining this, you can tell he's lying about it too, because he's trying to make the viewer think that he's a child psychotherapist. A child psychotherapist is something separate than a school psychologist. You got to get a whole different certification in order to do that, and you also have to have particular degrees. At that time, Umar didn't have those degrees. Now, if he had a PsyD by then, he would still have to go and get the certification. There's 2 years where he actually go. It's almost like an observation. You know, you're working with someone and they're observing you. Umar never completed any of that. He never got any certification to be a child psychotherapist. But Umar lies all the time. See, he can't be comfortable. That's a narcissism. He can't be comfortable just being a school psychologist, which is a great accomplishment. He has to spin it to make it seem as if it's more. Just like he can't be comfortable with there being 3 buildings up there. He has to say there's 4 buildings he's abandoned buildings. Or sometimes I've heard him say 5 buildings. No, it's 3 buildings. He has to say that there's 2 schools. No, there's not 2 schools. There's 3 abandoned buildings. So he does that when he explains his work history and his career, and he tries to spin things to make himself appear to be greater than what he is. That's that narcissism, right? Yeah, he lies a lot. That'll be in a documentary. Okay, thanks, Enterprise. Real quick, Nimi says, I drove semi-trucks for 9 years. He wasted that driver's time. Yeah, time. The thing is that the driver donated to Umar. You know, you would think that Umar would have some level of respect, even texting back and forth. That's how I look at things. I was talking to my wife about that today, you know, because I was getting so many emails, especially once Lene came on, Marianne Lauren came on. And there's no way for me to keep it up. I mean, I have like emails going back, like now it's probably about 6 months that I haven't responded to or I haven't even checked. Because if you think about it, if you got all these emails, just one email, then I'll respond, and then they respond back, and then I feel bad. I got to respond again, and then they send me something else, and then it turns into a vicious cycle. Then I got all these other people sending me emails too. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that in terms of time, there's no way. There's no way. So wasting people's time, Umar, he's done that a lot. I've seen him do that a lot. Same thing with the brother that wanted to come and bring a team out to do the HVAC for free, the HVAC system for free, and also to do the plumbing for free. Umar was supposed to pay for the materials, which Umar said that he would. So Umar agreed to all this, but then when it was time for the brother to come out, Umar ghosted him. He wouldn't reply back. See? He wouldn't reply back to the brother that he was going to put together a whole team. They were going to use their vacation time, and they were going to use the company time. The company gives a certain amount of hours per year where the people who work for the company, they do charity work, and it's a write-off for the company. See, it wasted that brother's time too. He's trying to organize all these other people to come and help. He's wasting all their time too. But that's Umar. That's Umar. No respect whatsoever. Man. Thanks, Nimi, for the super chat. Jackson says all of this is confirmation of Umar's grip. Yeah, he has no intention of opening up a school. You know, and I've shown several examples of people who've tried to help out. Brother Marion, rest in peace. He offered to do a website for Umar. Umar still doesn't have a website for FDMG. That's crazy. That's crazy. There's no excuse for that. That should be the first thing you put up. And when he did have a functional website, you guys should see what Umar had on there. And at a certain point, he put it to where you have to have a code to access it. I said, this guy, he's a con man. He's a con man. But here we are, all these years later. He doesn't even have a FDMG website. It would be FDMG.com. There was someone who got a hold of it, and when they got a hold, because they were in the chat room, I don't know who it was, but they were in the chat room and they were laughing about it, and they said, anybody remember this? Hit the one. They said everyone had told everyone in the chat room, go to www.fdmg.com. And I was like, there is no www.fdmg.com. They said, no, go. So I went, while we were live, I went and it redirected. It was a redirect. It redirected to my YouTube page. They thought it was funny. Okay. So whoever owned it at that time, I don't know if they still own it or not. But the point is that just goes to show you Umar's not serious. Umar's not serious. And it ain't going to cost you. I just renewed like 5 years for my website. My website is largely defunct. I don't update or anything like that. I just have it as a placeholder at this point. But I renewed it, and I just renewed it for 5 years. It didn't cost all that much money. So just for Umar to do it for 1 year, he's not serious. He's not serious at all. Anyway, thank you, Jackson. RPG TV says Umar scams our people and expects to give him work equipment for free. You're Black Savior, everyone. Yeah, and ironically, he's asked for a lot of stuff for free in terms of equipment and all kinds of stuff. But you see, when this brother just last year offered to do something like this for Umar and travel over 1,000 miles to deliver it, and all Umar had to do was pay $869 to help out with the gas, Umar ghosted him. Why? Because he didn't want to pay the $869. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. Brother Marion was going to do the website for free. There was a brother I have in the first documentary that was going to help Umar with the video production and all this other stuff. He was into technology, and Umar blocked him. Y'all remember that? Yeah. He's asked for a lot of stuff for free, but when it comes down to stuff being delivered and making things happen, that would move the project forward, Umar, he stops it right there. He stops it right there. Now, if this brother said, listen, I'm just going to bring it to you for absolutely for free, would it have made a difference to Umar? Maybe, but maybe not. It shouldn't make a difference either way, right? If he's serious about opening up a school. And he's asked for desk. Yeah, he's asked for desk. He's asked for different types of furniture and all this stuff. So why not make this happen? Well, because Umar's not serious. He expects black people to give work and equipment, do stuff for free, paint for free. You got to donate first, then you can come paint. And then he calls himself the Black Christ. Well, Umar's something else. When I'm watching these older videos of Umar, when he's talking about his career, real talk, Umar's career consistently lasted for about 5 years. That's it. And after that, it became inconsistent and more inconsistent until you get to 2011. At that point, he's not working anymore. And he hasn't worked consistently since. Again, benefit of the doubt that in 2014, he worked somewhere. Okay. He's a con man. All right. Thanks, RPG TV. And he tells people that he's still a school psychologist. No, he's not. He's not. What's up, D. Will? I became a member again. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me do these real quick. Gabe says, I have family really into Umar. Should I stop it? No, I wouldn't even worry about it. The reason why is because you don't want to turn this into a situation where you and your family are at odds over Umar. He's not worth it. See, Umar, he's broken up a lot of families too, for different reasons. It could be, him sexually exploiting these black women, and some of them got boyfriends or husbands, but he don't care. They got families. He don't care. It could be giving advice to the women, the women that he talks to, and they may have a husband. There was a brother from Chicago that called in and went off on Umar because Umar had given his wife some bad advice, and she took the advice without consulting the husband. See, that's great. That's causing division within the family, and it will also cause damage to their child. So Umar, he's broken up families in different ways. He's a baby mama creator, which is ultimately he's breaking up a potential family too, right there. So in my mind, I don't think he's worth it. I don't think, let people believe what they believe and think what they think, and just hope that at some point they'll see the truth, and that they do enough research to see Umar for who he is. That's my best advice, because your family is more important than Umar and his foolishness. If they want to believe in him, that's okay. They still your family. I wouldn't even argue, That's my best advice. Okay. Thanks, Gabe. KK says Umar's texting the brother with one-word response when he was trying to help is so extremely embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but you're right. Unprofessional and disrespectful. Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but you're absolutely right about that. It's almost like, yeah, whatever. I'll just send you a couple of words here or there. You would think he would be excited about that, right? And the brother yesterday, he was saying, yeah, Umar could have used this to get more donations. Yeah, he could have, because he could have illusion of progress. Because I remember Umar said he got all them desks. Anybody remember that hit the one? Remember Umar? He was kind of bragging about it. I wonder if these are those desks that he said that he had received, but he never received them because he rejected the brother. I wonder. It's possible. I mean, at some point I'll find that video where he was talking about that, and then I'll just go and look at the text messages and correlate to the timestamps or the date. Yeah. People, they'll see all the ones in here. Sounds good, correct that. But Umar responding the way that he did is more dismissive than anything else. The way I look at it, if someone is going to make an offer like that and is willing to deliver it, Umar should have called him right away. Hey, brother, thank you. I appreciate this. Let's work this out right now. Let's work this out right now. When can you come? When can you come? Okay. And how much you need? $869. Okay. Can I send it to? I send it to you at the time. You had CashApp. Send it to your CashApp, PayPal. I do need a form. If you can send me that form, because we're a nonprofit. It's okay. Yeah, we'll take care of it. I can text it to you. I can email it to you. If you need me to, I can mail it to you. Right? And they're on the phone, they're working it out, and then they get off the phone. Then, okay, once I get the paperwork, I'll call you right back. And he gets the paperwork. Umar does what he has to do, calls him right back. Okay, now when you going to deliver it? You would think he would do that, but that's not what he did. See? Yes, it's more dismissive than anything else. And doggone well that Umar had all those desks. This is what the irony of it. He had all those desks, and he's recording them, unloading them. His files would have been going crazy, boy. And they would have been up in the chat room talking all kind of mess, right? Just like every other day. They paint days, cleanup day. They get some, I don't know. There's not much that he's done. You get my point? But Umar, for whatever reason, well, I know why. It's the money. See, if the brother was like, listen, I'm going to just go straight up donate to you 19,000, 20,000 so you can get some desk. Umar be like, okay, cool. All right. Thanks, KK. That's a good point. I didn't even notice that, but you're right. Okay, Blackwell says, let's not forget about the woman that told her truth about her dad offering Umar land to start a school. Yes. There's also, Umar also tells the story about a brother near LA, and I think he said Riverside County, that offered land where Umar could put a school on. He did this when Umar was at the World Beach Center in San Diego. Umar also said, this is in the documentary, he also said that someone in Pennsylvania donated land too. And this was years and years ago. Over a decade ago. So you know, there's all types of stories of people offering Umar things for free, but nothing ever materialized. Why not? Well, it's Umar. Yeah. Thanks, Blackwood. Alay says he didn't have the money or labor for the desk. Yeah, now it's possible that he didn't have the money. That's possible. But the way I look at it is Umar, what he could have done is just went online and said, hey, listen, I have a brother who's willing to donate however many, 220, whatever, how many, 200 and something desk. But we just need to raise some money to help him out with the gas. Okay, and he could have just, because he had CashApp back then. If everybody get online right now, let's just get this money up for this brother right quick, and then get the money up. What he could have done also is just say, give the brother's CashApp. And listen, here's his CashApp. We need to get this money. And he could have said, let's drop 1,000 a band on this brother real quick. Let's do it right now and do it as a live stream. They would have had that money up in about 10 minutes. Even if Umar didn't have the money, they would have had that money up in 10 minutes. And then Umar, well, I'm telling you, he's just not smart. He's not smart. There's all stuff. Now, in terms of labor, you could be right about that, lady. Maybe he does, because he don't know how to organize anything. But check this out. If Umar is supposed to be this alpha male, let me tell y'all, if it was me and I didn't have people to help, well, then I would get up out there and I would do it myself, one desk at a time. I sure would. One desk at a time. Might take me a month. It may take me a while, but one desk at a time. See, Umar could have just found some people around the way, saying, listen, I'll drop y'all. I'm gonna drop you all. I'm gonna give you $20. I'm gonna give you $20. I'm gonna give you $20. I'm gonna give you 20. Get 5 of them. Give $100 altogether. $20 each. Unload these desks. Let's go. Okay, but not Umar. Thanks, lady. U225 says, honestly, Umar Johnson conspiracy talk is pain to sit through. Yeah, it really is. And he was deep into it. While I was working on it through the documentary today, I was wondering, when did he start getting into the conspiracy theory stuff? And my best guess is that he wasn't really into it while he was working as a school psychologist, because he was a school psychologist in the UNI at the same time. He was also working on a master's degree. So I don't see how he would have the time. What I think is that once Umar resigned in 2005 after working for only 5 years in the Philadelphia School District, I think he went off the deep end, and he started getting more and more into conspiracy, because it was around that time, 2007, 2008, where it really got big. I think that's when he started to get into it more and more, around that time, and then it just filtered over and filtered over. And he still holds on to a lot of that stuff, that rhetoric in 2025. I think he used it 225. Is that Damar says, I recently looked at a video of Umar going off on Sarah Sutanseti. Yeah, it's one of the worst. It is the worst video I've ever seen of Umar. I found it funny at first, but as I looked through a different lens, very disrespectful. Yeah, and very concerning too. And the reason why is because it goes to show Umar's emotional instability. He's mentally unstable too. Yeah, he would get crazy and he'd try to calm himself down, and start getting crazy again. And then the theatrics of it all, trying to act like he a thug. Yeah, that video woke a lot of people up. In my opinion, that's the top video out of all the videos I've ever seen of Umar, and I've seen most of them, real talk. Out of all the videos I've seen of Umar, that's the worst one. It just goes to show you the type of person that he is. And Lene said that wasn't even Umar, at 100. I said, man, if he's willing to act like that online, how y'all think he acts offline? Yeah, and everyone here, you guys remember the SETI rant. One of these days, we're going to do a show, and it's just going to be the SETI rant. That's it. Okay, because I don't want to do it as a whole bunch, like as a marathon when we do other videos, because If we try to do that one, it's going to get demonetized right away because Umar was his mouth. Boy, I said, you tripping. He was tripping, talking crazy. Yeah. Thanks, is that DeMar. What's up, Enterprise again? It said the death scenario alone shows FDMG is a sham. Yeah, I don't know what else people need in order to wake up. I really don't. What other proof do people need to realize this? This brother again, thousands of dollars worth of desk for free, and Umar had come out of the pocket about $869. He's supposed to be opening up a school. He needs furniture. There's no, so why not go through with it? Well, because Umar's not serious. I mean, what else do people got? I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah. So the poll question too: does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 desks to FDMG? 6% said yes. 94% said no. Okay, make sure you get your vote in during the live stream. Our goal for the likes too is 100. Okay. Thanks, Enterprise again. Giannis says, why isn't this guy prosecuted for child support yet? Umar has been arrested for child support because he wasn't paying child support. He was arrested. And he had all kinds of bench warrants. That's what I'm saying. And I didn't think about this until today because Umar was explaining. I don't want to rehash this, but I can't wait to have this next segment done. Umar was explaining, when he resigned 2005, he starts in 2000. Then I said, wait a minute. If he resigns in 2005, you'll see it too. You'll see it on his child support. It wasn't like there were bench warrants early on, starting in 2002, because that's when the child support starts in 2002. You got 2002, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004, and then 2005. By that time, Umar, he's not working consistently anymore. And that's when you start to see it get crazy on his child, because they're trying to find out where he's working. You guys realize that during the time period that Umar was supposedly a school psychologist, the court, they had to go based upon minimum wage. That doesn't make any sense if this guy's this big time school psychologist. What's going on here? This is stuff I found out today. There's no excuse for that. There's a specific term that they use. It's like the least amount that you would have to pay. Why would you be paying? And then you see Umar trying to get adjustments made. There's a term for that too. So he's going to court because he doesn't want to pay as much as he's supposed to. And then ultimately, when they can't find, where he's employed, because he's not employed anymore, they can't garnish anything. Then it goes to the bare minimum. And during this time, Umar claims to be a school psychologist. Then he says he becomes a principal, as an administrator now. I'm an administrator, and I'm as a school principal. Well, if you're a school principal, why ain't you paying child support? Anyway, I go on and on. And then a lady says he will pay for. Yeah, he sure will. He'll pay for them cookies, but not for the kids. I don't mean to laugh, but you're right about that. Real quick though, lady, Umar, he'll pay for some cooch, but he ain't gonna pay for no desk for some kids. Okay, y'all tell me. There ain't no excuse for that. He's trifling. Okay, thanks, lady. And then Carolina says Umar remind me of crackhead trying to sell a water heater. It'd be an old water heater too. When he starts to talk, start off good but end with BS. Yeah, Umar, he's a smooth talker. He is. We were talking about that yesterday. He knows how to confuse people with words and stuff, but he ain't saying nothing. The interview we get in today, he ain't saying nothing the whole time. At least the whole time we've been watching. I know we ain't been watching but about 2 minutes of it. But he is. He's a professional shit talker. He's BS. That's Umar, and people buy into it. Hey, thank you, Carolina. Okay, let's get to the video because we got to get through it today, and I got to go to bed earlier. I'm tired right now, but that's okay. Okay, thanks everyone inside the Cook Fresh Chat. Shout out to the mods too for handling business. Cook Fresh Chat's undefeated. Let me just look to see how many likes we got. We got about 10 likes, so we're doing good on that. Let's keep those likes coming in. We have about 1,162 people with 10 likes. All right, thank you so much. I'm just playing. Okay, thanks everyone for the super chats. Let's get into the video. Here we go.
And so, would you say part of why we aren't liberating ourselves financially as a culture is because those that are in power are focused on, I guess, self-preservation above the collective preservation?
Not self-preservation. I'm going to say self-promotion at the expense of preservation.
Okay.
I was at a home buying workshop in Philadelphia once, and the white man represented a bank. He got up there and he talked about why black people are routinely redlined and denied a
This guy been homeless since 2019. Cut it out.
mortgage loan, right? He admitted racism is the biggest factor, correct? But you know what he said after that? He said a big reason why black people do not get mortgages from white banks is y'all bought the car first. When you come to me asking for a mortgage for a $250,000 house and you driving a $120,000 Benz, I'm
Okay, how many black people do you know that that's their scenario? And at the end of the day, what the bank wants to know is whether or not you're going to pay the mortgage, that you have the ability to pay the mortgage. What you talking about, Umar? Because you can have a $150,000 car, but if you can afford that and you can afford to pay them, that's what they're worried about. Yeah, go on and put that. Because listen, for the bank, they're like, okay, you know, you go on and put 20% down. You gonna mess this up. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna keep that money and we're gonna get that house back. I don't mean to be like that. But no, they're not concerned. They're not concerned. If you can afford, it doesn't matter if you can afford that car. They ain't worried about that. But the deeper issue is, you see how Umar's spinning this narrative like that's what black people are doing? Cut it out, Umar. You don't even have a car. What you talking about? You rent cars using donation money. Let me stop. Here we go. This guy, he's something else.
denying you, not because you can't afford it, but you just show me where your priorities lie. In other words, if you are going through a hard time, that's
not how it works, Umar. This guy is, I'm telling you, that's not how it works. What's your priority because you have a $150,000 vehicle, but you can afford the mortgage? But because you have a $150,000 vehicle that you can also afford, somehow they're not going to give you the loan? What are you talking about? He's supposed to have 6 degrees. He's 51 talking like this. Boy, he's something else. Let me stop because we got to get to this video today.
Bought the car.
I ain't playing with y'all. Sing it with me. FDMG ain't coming. FDMG ain't coming. FDMG ain't coming. It's coming. It ain't coming. It ain't coming. Okay, I don't even remember it ain't coming. It's hard to sing it that way. I can sing the other way. FDMG is coming. But when you say FDMG ain't coming, I would have to practice. Anyway. Thanks, Diamond Vertic. As you can see, we already got blown off today. That's okay. Brown Skin Baby Doll says, hey, Lenon, did you receive the email I sent you this morning regarding Umar rejecting $20K from Dane Calloway earlier this year? Yeah, I got the email and I read through some of it. We did talk about that. We talked about that briefly. So Dane Calloway wanted to debate Umar. Umar wouldn't take the debate. And then Dane Calloway, he offered $20,000. I think in the email you also said he offered $50,000 at one point, if you remember correctly. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when all that took place, but Umar, he wouldn't accept it. In fact, it was during a live stream. I remember because we covered the video. And you guys remember this? I was like, who is he talking about? Because I know who Umar was talking about. And Umar was in the live stream. He says, oh, blah, blah. He was talking mess. I was like, who is he talking about? And there were people in the chat were like, oh no, he's talking about Dane Calloway. I said, oh, okay. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I got your email. I just didn't have time to reply. But Umar is not going to debate anyone who's going to ask him any critical questions. See, because even if Dane Calloway, if he debated Umar on a different topic other than FDMG, he could just bring up FDMG, and it's going to be over. He can ask 3 questions. Number 1, how much money have you raised so far, Umar, for FDMG? Number 1. Okay, second question. Well, if you only raise that amount of money, because in 2025, you said that you only raised $1 million, well, then why is it that your tax forms filing with the IRS from 2022 for 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2022, 2023, and 2024. Is that right? No, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2020. No, that's not right either. No, that's right. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Why is it that it all equals up to $1.2 million plus the purchase price of $400,000, which gets us to $1.67 million? That's question number 2. I know I kind of messed it up, but you see what I'm saying? What is Umar going to do with that? It'll be over right there. A third question. When was the last time you had your own residence? I know it's petty. It's petty. And the reason why that is relevant is because it shows that Umar, he's not even responsible with his own life. How is he going to be responsible with opening up a school and dealing with children, so forth and so on? So the point that I'm getting at is brown skin baby doll. Even if they debated on another topic, Dane Calloway can just bring up these topics related to FDMG and it's over. Because I'm going to tell you what happened. Umar get all into his emotions. He starts yelling and screaming. And at that point, Umar's not going to be able to maintain decorum. And then Calloway can just go right back to talking about whatever he wants to debate Umar on. And at that point, Umar's already done because he's going to be into his emotions. And he's emotionally unstable. That simple. It'd be a wrap. Yeah. There's other people that have attempted to debate Umar. If Umar wanted to come on here and debate me, he sure could. He's welcome. He'll get destroyed, though. We can debate FDMG. We can debate from the beginning. In fact, we can debate when Umar started his career as a school psychologist in 2000 through 2005. And I'll go year by year and break it all down. And then we'll say, okay, well, Umar, what about your child support situation? You telling all these black men that they're supposed to be marrying black women. You ain't married. You got 3 baby mamas at least. Four women in the state of Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, attempted to put you on child support. 3 of them were successful. And one of them she was in her early 20s when you impregnated her and you were in your early 40s. What do you have to say about that, sir? See, nah, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Thanks, Brown Skid, baby doll. And then Jackson says, Lenon, Umar doesn't want that smoke. He sure doesn't. Now, there was a time where he was big and bad, talking all this, he had followers that were talking mess too, but he would talk all big and bad. It was like he was trying to intimidate me. But what he did was he fueled me. I don't play that. I don't play that. I don't fear no man. Real talk. I don't fear no man. I don't follow no man either. I don't put my faith in men. Don't do it. For me, okay? You see what Umar has done to a lot of the people who have spoken out against him, in particular the women. He tries to bully them. It didn't work with Lene. Okay, it didn't work with Sister Mary Ann. It definitely didn't work with me. See, and he was issuing physical threats, talking about pull-up team. He's gonna have his homeboys come through or whatever. He didn't say homeboys. That's terminology we grew up on. He put out my home address and put it on his Instagram page. He was doing all. I mean, I had gotten phone calls, people sending me crazy text messages, all kind of crazy stuff. But it was a miscalculation on his part because I'm not the one. See, and I'm not all with all that, talking and trying to be tough and all that stuff. It's not me. But I ain't gonna back down off of nobody either. Right. Anyway, he don't want that smoke. Thank you, Jackson, for a super chat. Is Hat DeMar says the interviewer looked like Lil G from the singing group Silk. Now, that takes me back. I'll stop. FDMG ain't coming. Yeah, someone said that he looked like Faison Love. And he does look like Faison Love. Okay. Thank you. Is that the head? He said Silk. That's a long time ago. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Kogo also says he never bought a house or a car, so he don't know. Now, Umar did own a vehicle. From my research, he's owned one vehicle in his life. From my research, he hasn't owned a vehicle, and I would have to go back and look at the paperwork to see. But it's been over a decade. I think it's been closer to 15 years. And what he's been doing is living off of the donation money and living in and out of hotel rooms. He don't own a home. He don't even have a residence. He was staying inside his mama closet, and he uses donation money to live off of, and he would get hotel motel rooms. We don't see him doing that as much these days because the money done ran dry. See? Yeah, that'll all be in the documentary too. That'll all be in the documentary. Thank you, Coco. Okay, did I get to everyone? Okay, I think I'm all caught up here. All right. Okay, we got to get going into this video. Thanks everyone for the super chats. Here we go.
car first, I know you're going to pay your car note first before you pay your mortgage, and that's why you didn't.
If a person was in this type of a situation where they had to decide, what would they pay first? You're going to pay your mortgage. What are you talking about, Umar? This guy, he just dumb.
Get the loan.
Sheesh.
You see that?
Yeah. So listen,
As long as black people.
By the way, how would a bank know? See, Umar doesn't understand business. It's numbers. How is the bank going to know what you would pay between your house loan and your car note, your mortgage and your car note? How would they know? Yeah, this guy right here, I think Ted, this guy right here, I think he's not gonna pay on the mortgage. He's gonna pay that car note. What are you talking about, Umar? And like I said before, all the bank is concerned with is whether or not your financials are in a position. Obviously, you got to be gainfully employed too, or have a legitimate business, Umar. Are you in a position, financially speaking, to afford, with everything else you got going on, are you in a position to afford a mortgage? That's it. And if you can afford it, they're like, okay. Of course, it's not that simple. I'm just saying they're not thinking about, okay, now if the money gets low somehow or they get laid off, will they pay the mortgage or will they pay the car? They're not thinking like that. Anyway, Umar, he's goofy.
Care more about how we look than how our people live.
Yeah.
We cannot win. Now let's go to the celebrities real quick. A big problem I got with black celebrities, especially the billionaire class, right?
Yeah.
And guess who said this?
Here he goes. He's gonna start disparaging black people, successful black people.
Do you remember the coach of the owners of the LA Clippers? What was his name? Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
He was forced to sell his team
Yep.
because they caught him with the racist remarks.
Yep.
That wasn't the real reason. The NBA really wanted him out, but that's what they used, right?
Cut it out, Umar.
You know what he said? As racist as he was, he said, "I don't understand these black millionaires. They don't do half of what we do for our people for theirs." He said, "There's no such thing as black." What did he call it? There's no such thing as black philanthropy. I'm paraphrasing him, but he broke it down.
Yeah.
He said, "Look at what I do
Okay, who is he talking about? Anyone? I don't even know what he's talking about.
for other Jewish people. Look at what he do for other Irish. Look at what they do for Italian. Look at what they do for Chinese. Look at what they do for the Arabs." You don't see no black celebrity, none of them, systematically doing for their own like any other celebrity does for their own.
Okay, that's not true. This is just Umar disparaging black people. Let me read you guys something real quick that I wrote today in the documentary. This is after a segment where Umar, it's a 2005 video, the earliest video that I've been able to find of Umar speaking. And it's just a paragraph. Let me read this to you. It's important to note that Umar Johnson had a negative view about educated black people who had more success, power, and authority than he did. In other words, even back in 2005, he had this mentality. As an example, a school principal has more power and authority within the school system than a school psychologist. Furthermore, Umar, and the reason I'm saying this because in the video, Umar is disparaging black school principals. Why? Because Umar, he was just, and I'm not saying it to be a negative, but Umar, in terms of power and control, he was just a school psychologist who was subject to the school principal. And then I go on to say, furthermore, Umar Johnson's disdain for black authority can be heard in his use of the degrading term Negro, because he tends to use that Negro principle. That's what he called the black principle. To this day, the disrespect and degradation of successful professional black people is a common theme in Umar Johnson's rhetoric. And here we are with this video right here. Let's go.
He said, "There's no such thing as black." What did he call it? There's no such thing as black philanthropy. I'm paraphrasing him, but he broke it down. He said, "Look at what I do for other Jewish people. Look at what he do for other Irish. Look at what they do for Italian. Look at what they do for Chinese. Look at what they do for the Arabs." You don't see no black celebrity, none of them, systematically doing for their own like any other celebrity does for their own. This is my problem with us, brother. But you know why that is, right? Black people are stuck in an eternal competition with one another for who's going to be the ultimate head Negro in charge.
See, I was just talking about that. Who wants to be the HNIC? It's Umar. That's another reason why he destroyed his career, because he would not take counsel from people who had authority over him. He just would not capitulate because he had to be in control of everything. Okay? He's talking. That's what you call projecting. He's projecting right here.
I can't help you build wealth, brother.
Yeah.
I can't turn you into no millionaire, even if I'm a billionaire, because I'm helping you level up to me. I can't be the HNIC if you level up to me.
But what's better than 1 billionaire too? Isn't that?
If you care about the collective. Remember, black people don't identify with race.
Yeah.
Slavery took away culture
sure.
and gave us religion.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So we don't care if black people are mistreated until we get mistreated.
Yeah.
We don't have a collective I.
Yeah.
We only have an individual I. Mexicans, it's a collective I. Arabs, it's a collective I. That's why they can build and mass wealth the way that they do, because they move as a group. Mexicans will come over here. 20.
Okay, that is not true. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Boy, I tell you, I don't know what this guy's talking about. Anyway,
In a house. And will not move out that house until every one of them got a home and a business.
Yeah.
You don't even want your sister living in your house. You don't even want your brother living in your house.
but look who's talking, Umar. You don't even have your own home. You've been homeless since 2019. I remember this video where Umar was like, he was talking all sad, and sometimes family members, they're against you and they don't want you living with them. I said, you talking about yourself. You bum. What you talking about? You don't even have a job. One thing Mexicans, but it's not like they just all living. No, they be working. They work hard. And then there's Mexican people that don't do that. There's Asian people that do that, but then there's also Asian people that don't do that. I'm gonna leave it right there. Well, Umar, he a trip. See, but all of this is designed to do what? To disparage black people, because it's comparative. Asians, as if all of them, they all live together and blah blah blah. They all live in the same house, blah blah. Not all of them, but it's part of their culture. For a lot of them, it's part of it. Well, not all of them. There's Asian thugs. What you talking about, Umar? They ain't trying to live like that. What you talking about? Same thing with Mexicans, the cholos. They ain't trying to do all that. But there are Mexicans that will do that. But they work hard too. And they're not living off of each other. Umar, you living off your mama. You need to cut it out, homeboy. And the way the point is that he's given these examples of other groups of people and how they're doing it the right way, so as to outline how black people are doing it the wrong way. And because it's always about degrading black people, it's always about disparaging black people. That's why he's talking like this.
You know who the ultimate anti-black segregationists are in America? Black people! No.
See? There he go. And see the anger and vitriol? He don't have no love for no black people.
Nobody wants to get away from black people more than black people. Sheesh. How you going to build wealth?
Well, listen. If it's some goofy black people, yeah. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? If it's you, Umar, yeah. But the same thing though with Mexican people or Asian, whatever you want to say. They don't want to be around no crazy people. Anyway, here we go.
If we can't even live in the same
Neighborhood, you're gonna hurt a lot of feelings.
It's the truth.
and man, it's so much to unpack. But I want to talk about Trump.
Yes.
Again, right?
Yes.
Because and I guess I'll ask this question different now, because when you think about Trump not really even being really in charge, right? But let's talk about ICE, right? Like it's a cycle. It looks like domestic terrorism all over again, right? When I think about the videos and things that I've seen when the Ku Klux Klan was running around, wild in the streets, sanctioned by the government, by the local sheriffs and things of that nature. When I'm watching what's happening with ICE, where it began, it looked like it was about illegal immigration, deportation, but now they're running in whole buildings. They're attacking U.S. citizens.
Yes. Let me give you something.
Yeah.
Here you go.
On this
Conspiracy
ICE
watch. Conspiracy
In my
watch.
opinion, studying this situation, this is going to crush MAGA egos, right? The MAGA team. Donald Trump's ICE performance
Oh, sorry.
is nothing more than a performance. Stay with me. They will deport a couple 100,000 people. They will not touch even a quarter of how many illegal immigrants who are here who are not of African descent. You hear me? These Latinos are not going anywhere en masse. They're going to give them some to keep up the presentation in the scam. But it's really just a scam.
Listen, someone said in the chat room, Umar's trying to make it seem like they're just going to deport anybody at any given point, regardless of what their status is in this country. That's not how that works, Umar. Let me let it play, because we got to get to this video.
They're making white America think we're getting rid of Latinos. They're not. Do you know why the Latinos were even brought here in the first place? Is to keep the cost of labor down so American multinational corporations wouldn't take their business to third world countries.
What are you talking about, Umar? He got 6 degrees. There's a lot of Latinos in this country because Umar, we're right on the border with Mexico. How about that? You're goofy. You all go down to Texas. Go down to Southern California. I'm from Southern California. That's why the Mexicans I grew up around back then, they were scared of the border patrol. They called them La Migra. Back then. These days, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They said, nah, we been there. We here now. You ain't Back then, we said, La Migra. They all the little kids be running and shit. And it ain't no border patrol, but you can yell that and everybody start running. Nowadays, them kids nowadays, you be like the La Migra, they be like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, Umar, he don't know what he's talking about. Let's go.
If you deport all of the Latinos, who is going to work for less than minimum wage in these hotels? Who's going to work for next to minimum wage in these fast food restaurants? Who's going to work?
Umar, there's all kinds of people that work in these environments. And listen, there's plenty of Latinos that don't work in Umar, that don't work at, whatever. Umar, he's just playing off of stereotypes. He's ridiculous. He said, and who's gonna make the tacos? No, Umar, come on, don't do that.
For less than minimum wage in a lot of these corporations. America knows the reason why you don't have more corporations that have already relocated to Taiwan and Vietnam is because the government allows the multinational corporations to pay these Latinos under the table. They not going nowhere, brother. But I tell you who is. All our Haitian brothers and sisters. All our African brothers and sisters. They're really deporting the Africans. They're making you think they're getting rid of the Latinos. No, they're not. I promise you, when the next president is sworn in 2028, 2029, whenever that is, I promise you, you will have just as many illegals as you do now. Okay, first of all, once they drop a baby, right, that child is a citizen. Although Trump is trying to do away with birthrights, it's still here though. So if I sneak across the border and have a child, right? You can't separate me from my child now. Brother, this is one of the biggest scams being ran. This scam that he's getting rid of illegal immigrants. He can't. The American economy would fold if they got rid of.
Look who's talking about scamming.
Illegal immigrants. They not going nowhere. And let's do the financial math on this. Joe Biden was president for 4 years, right? So these immigrants.
Yeah, Umar said they just drop a baby. That's how you know he's a deadbeat baby mama creator. And they just drop a baby, now they just drop the baby any old time. I'm sorry. It's too bright in here.
It's been coming in for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Do you see how fast they reproduce, bro? Do you realize that them immigrants who came here 4 years ago, they had about 5 kids already who are all American citizens? Even if you get rid of my mama, I'm still here. Look at this. You deport the one who snuck in, but you can't do nothing about the 4 they reproduced.
This is just stereotypes. It's kind of offensive, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's actually sounds like racist rhetoric. That's what it sounds like.
Ain't doing nothing about no.
Wow.
By the way, Umar, you got at least 3 baby mamas, so you need to cut it out. And it ain't married, not one, and don't even take care of your kids. Deadbeat.
Mexican immigration, bro. It's a scam to do what? Charge up the poor white man in America to make him think I'm taking your country back. And you're not going to know that you've been played this whole term until he's out of office.
Right.
Quit yelling, you big old.
Right. Let's talk about your school, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
you're opening up a school.
Here we go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's go, Cook Rush Chat. Here we go.
You've been intentional about making sure that you don't take any government funding.
Yes, sir.
What level?
Well, hold on now. Umar Faison, you don't know this. Maybe you don't know this. Umar has tax exempt status. So that's a benefit from the government, wherein the donations that he receives for these fake schools, it's not it's not taxable. It's not, I should say it another way. It's not subject to taxation. So that's money saved based upon an agreement that Umar has gone into with the government. So cut it out.
Lessons can entrepreneurs and community leaders learn from your ability to mobilize people financially without institutional backing?
Okay, getting online and begging for money is not mobilizing Black people financially. So cut it out. What are you talking about? Always telling Black people to get on their Cash App, get on their PayPal, get on their PO box, and send them checks and money orders and raw cash, as Umar says. That's not mobilizing Black people financially. That's just taking money from Black people. So what are you talking about, sir?
Great question.
Look at this guy. You can already tell he's setting up a lie. Look at him.
I was blessed in that I was already popular when I started the FDMG campaign.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I've already done the research. If you guys go back and you look at when Umar started posting about FDMG, because he wasn't on Instagram back then. Don't make me pull the receipts up. Don't make me do it. He wasn't popular. He did Hidden Colors in 2011. Let me show y'all something. But by 2000, let me just show y'all. Watch this. See, I have receipts to back up what I say, and I know I'm going to prove to you guys Umar's lying right now. Watch this. We're going to go to let's go to 2014. Let's go to March 26th of 2014. Check this out. See, Umar didn't have Instagram. He had Facebook. Look at the engagement here. 2014. 732 likes. That's not popular. 102 comments. That's not popular. 248 shares. That's not popular either. Let me give you guys another example. There you go. And I'm just picking the random ones. Should Dr. Umar look into purchasing the oldest HBCU, Cheney University? Look at 52 comments, 316 likes, 47 shares. That's not popular. Okay, by this time, he's raising money for the St. Paul's College. Let me give you 2 more examples. Hold on 1 second. Here's one from March 26th of 2014. Look. Top 30 shockumentary volunteer states in order. California, Pennsylvania, Georgia, etc. 109 likes, 10 comments, 27 shares. Umar's not popular. Let me do one more. And I'm just picking random. Let me go into this other folder because I ain't been in this folder in a while. I don't know if this one shows any. Let's see. Oh, this one doesn't show anything. Facebook family, beginning tomorrow, donate $1 per day until 8/21, August 21st, to fund FDMG campaign. This is June 1st, 2014. Join the Dr. Umar $1 a day movement beginning at midnight. 22,000 Facebook friends. So he had 22,000. He's popular with 22,000 Facebook friends. Times $1 per day until August 21st is $1,782,000. Let me do one more in this folder because this folder is crazy. I'm trying to find one where there's comments though, so we can see what people's response, like the engagement, because a lot of these are. Here's one more. Oh wait, I already did this one. Where's? Oh, here we go, right here. Happiness is not pleasure. It's how you feel and think after the pleasure is over. Using pleasure as a substitute leads to addiction. This is Umar projecting. If you look right here, this is from November 22nd, 2014, months after he started raising money for the St. Paul's College. 101 likes, 3 comments, 18 shares. I rest my case. So no, Umar, you weren't popular. Let's keep going. Here we go.
So we took our first donation in St. Louis in April of 2014.
Okay, and Umar specifically talking about the St. Paul's school scam, but he was collecting money for other FDMG related scams prior to that, going all the way back to at least 2009. I've seen people say 2008 and 2007, right?
We got our school in 2019, right? So we was able to raise that money in 5 years.
Okay, it's not a school. These are abandoned buildings. You raised money in 2019, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 5 years getting into 2019.
And we've been renovating since then.
Okay, renovations. Umar said the renovations were complete in 2023, but he's still renovating in 2025. By the way, Umar's not going to say anything about this receipt right here, though. Hold on 1 second. This is what he should be talking about. This is Facebook page. January 6, 2010. Umar Abdullah Johnson. Promises in 2010 began laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys specializing in learning disability and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. So when Umar says stuff like, yeah, it took us 5 years to find a school, no, find abandoned buildings, they're not schools. No, Umar, in 2010, you said the school was going to open September 11, 2013. So what that means is that it took you 9 years to acquire some abandoned buildings. And now it's taken you over 15 years. It's about to be 16 years to get to where you're at today with these abandoned buildings. Even though you said the renovations were complete in 2023, and clearly they're not complete in 2025. See, listen, I have all the receipts. I even have the receipts where Umar was talking about, he was trying to collect resumes because he was trying to get people to do like aftercare programs and Umar Johnson's Boy Scouts program, some stupid like that he was talking about. And none of it coming to fruition. Okay, but he was collecting money for things. That's the thing with Umar. He was collecting money. Say he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He's still doing the same thing today. All right. Yeah, I'm tempted to pull up some more of these receipts of Umar early on. No, let me let it go because we got to get through this video. Okay, here we go.
Done, right? So 19 to 25 about.
And community leaders learn from your ability
to
mobilize people financially without institutional backing.
Great question. I was blessed in that I was already popular when I started the FDMG campaign.
Yeah.
So we took our first donation in St. Louis in April of 2014. We got our school in 2019, right? So we was able to raise that money in 5 years. And we've been renovating since then, just about done, right? So 19 to 25, about 6 years. When we talk about Black Wall Street, I'm gonna tell you what.
Hey, you guys see what Umar said there? Listen carefully.
2014. We got our school in 2019, right? So we was able to raise that money in 5 years. And we've been renovating since then, just about done, right?
Just about done. Okay, but if I pull up the receipt from 2023, August 11th of 2023, listen to what Umar says.
This moment, Black August 11th of 2023. I'm live, King. Black August 11th of 2023. I'm on a live stream, King. I'm here for a minute, though. Swing back around. Okay, I got you. That we have finally completed all of the renovations for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan African Excellence. I'm going to say it again.
This was back in 2023. So in this video, which is over 2 years later, Umar is saying that we're almost done. I don't know what else I have to tell you Umar Johnson followers who support this school scam. And so, not all y'all do. Some of y'all you interested in the other stuff you talk about. So I get that, but specifically dealing with this FDMG thing, I don't know what else to tell you. In 2023, he said the renovations were complete, but now in 2025, he says that they're almost done. It begs the question, why did he say that in 2023? Well, because he was fiending in 2023. He needed money to go get that stuff. That's why he looks like this. Look at him. I don't know what else to tell y'all. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Y'all don't get this? Y'all don't see this? Look at him. August 11th of 2023, the video I just played, he said that renovations were done. But here we are in 2025, about a week ago, and he's saying that renovations are almost done.
When we talk about Black Wall Street, I'm going to tell you what gives me the most caution.
And community leaders learn from you.
Started the FDMG campaign.
Yeah.
So we took our first donation in St. Louis in April of 2014. We got our school in 2019, right? So we was able to raise that money in 5 years. And we've been renovating since then, just about done, right? So
I'm gonna let it go. I just don't get it. I don't know what else I got to tell people. And these are Umar's own words. This is his own words. User 225 says, in Star Wars, Umar Johnson lightsaber color would be brown. There aren't any brown lightsabers, okay? Cut it out. That's ridiculous. All right, thanks, User 225, said a brown lightsaber. That's crazy. All right, but I get it, okay? I am Aaliyah K says, Umar is always talking about the only people that have his... Wait, what? Umar is always talking about the only people that gave him money? Is that what you're saying? Umar's always talking about the only people, talking about, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm sorry, I am Aaliyah K. I'm looking inside the chat room right now. If you want to rephrase it, I'll read it. You don't got to send it in another super chat because I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. I know you're clowning you. Thank you for the super chat. I'm looking in there right now. And thank you for super chat. Also, thank you to 225. Really, one of them says Umar 3 times shaming Black people so much I thought I was watching Fox News. Okay, the thing is that Umar, he has a very negative view about Black people, but it goes way back. Okay, again, I have him talking about the principles that he was under when he was a school psychologist, and he calls them Negro principles. But it just goes to show you his disdain for Black people, successful Black people, people who are more successful than he is, and who have more power than he does. And yet Umar, because he's a narcissist, he's always talking about how everyone is jealous of him, but that's just Umar projecting. Okay, I'm looking in here again. I want to see what that comment was. She may not even be here anymore because that comment was from a couple of minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I couldn't figure out the comment from I am Ali K. Okay, thank you. Really one of them for the super chat. Saint T Center 13 says he looks like Faison Love and Donna Raw. He looks like if Faison Love and Donnell Rawlings had a kid. Okay. I'm not gonna put Donnell Rawlings on there. Faison, yeah. Okay, I'll take that one. He does look like Faison a lot. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Mistrix Monica says, why the F does this ninja always yelling in bursts? Yeah, he's been doing that a very long time. He has some sort of turret. I'm not gonna laugh at that. He has some, I did, but I didn't mean to. He has some form of Tourette's syndrome. My African Wakandans, etc. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I have a compilation of Umar just screaming like that. Y'all want me to play it real quick for some comic relief? let me just pull it right here because it's an intro video. I don't play it that often because it's loud. I can turn the volume down a little bit, but it's a perfect example of what you're talking about. I don't know why he does that. You know, at first I thought it was an emotional, you know, he just can't regulate his emotions, but he's just sitting there. So I don't see why his emotions would be going crazy like that. Let me pull this up right quick because this is an example, and this is just from one talk that Umar gave, where he just keeps doing this over and over again. Let's see, here it is right here. Show intros, and I called it screaming. So here it is right here. Watch this.
Can call on Ashe. The energy is in here. Maybe so much. I always know what it is because you know y'all tongue can cut. Watch what you say to your son ever. Ashe. And then you want to call us up to come in and play the damn cops. Walk in the house and dance. It's a beast. There's going to be some vampires in there. Like, damn. They look like people, don't they? You think they human. Ready to give up. Everybody was there. Cousins, grandpa with a cane. I said, damn, y'all want to fight the man just because he want to see us see? Whether the door locked or not. You think my psychology always going to work? Hell no. Some brothers are straight third. I don't want to hear that. You got 3 master's degree. You ain't my master. Damn. Dr. Who? I ain't never seen you on Oprah. Stop laughing. Up under your skirt. And never get that masculine structure, he might start wanting to wear one. He will fix himself. I'm healthy as a mother. We ain't gonna talk about that. I know you want to shake her to death, but you can't. Because you'll get a restraining order. Guilty as hell. And if you think that she not even cute, hey, why you playing with your meat, son? I can't do that. But I can't come out and tell her that. And she become the biggest buck wild at Morgan. Yeah, and a few other people. My God, there's nothing worse than going in front of a white man and say, can I see my daughter? And one time the judge looked at me and said, wait a minute, I know your face. I said, oh, shit. He was on YouTube. Judge knew who I was, but I was able to get out of it. Because he would have never gave me my baby. I know what I'm talking about. When I'm done, they don't want sex no more. Homo, hetero, nothing. Every time I wanted a cookie, I saw a herpes. Damn! Damn! And fellas, I want to be clear now. When we go back to take over the community, because we're going to have to do it, gentlemen, you can't expect the cops to fix this, because they started it. But I want to be clear, and I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone.
You notice how he says some of us love our children. Boy, that's deep in and of itself.
But we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good, for good, for good.
Yeah, listen, Mistress Monica, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it's weird. I'll tell you that. I've never seen it. I've never seen that type of behavior. That's Umar, though. Thank you, Mrs. Monica, for the super chat. Black Wolf says, when a black man is took out by police, we all come together to tear. We never say, oh, well, it wasn't me. Umar feels this way about us for real, for real. He's a bozo. Yeah. His hatred towards black people, but you know, Black Wolf, I don't even think it's exclusive. I just think Umar is a hateful person. I just think he's a hate, and there are people who are like that. You don't really run into a lot of people who are like that, but he's one of those types of people. He just has a lot of hate in his heart, and he'll direct it at anyone if it fits, if it puts him in a position to get things out of people. He's a narcissist. They're always looking for. They call it a supply. The specific term, I can't remember the specific term right now. It's narcissistic supply. So he'll disparage anyone if it's going to get him what he wants and what he needs, but there's no love there. It's not like he cares for anyone. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about his followers. He doesn't care about his donors. Most definitely, he's talked more shit about you donors than you know anybody else, with the exception of him talking bad about successful black people who are far more successful than he is. That's a jealousy thing with Umar. He's very jealous, but that's what I mean by he has a lot of hate in his heart. A lot of hate, you know. But his main target, and you're right, is black people. Most of Umar's rhetoric is disparaging black people. And he even brings up other groups of people as an example of how things should be done, to make a comparison to how black people are doing things in the wrong way and how black people ain't shit. And that's what it comes down to with this. That's why I don't understand why he has people who follow him. You know, he's so abusive, and the main people he's abusive towards is black people, because he's a hate-filled person. Look at how he did his daughter. Because see, I had to put just a little bit of that in the timeline for the documentary, because I'm like in and around year 2005. I started with his his whole timeline. I started in 1974. Now I'm in 2005, but he was put on child support by his first baby mama in 2002. So what I did was, when I get to 2002, and then I bring up the child support situation, and it connects to his career too, like I was talking about earlier. I have to fast forward to some of the things that have happened to 2025. So I put that into the show, what Umar did in 2025, and then I go back to 2005, and it's just setting things up, because by the time we get to 2025 in the documentary, boy, it's gonna blow everything out. But I put that in there specifically to kind of set a tone. It's like foreshadowing, but it's tied to the child support. Look at how he treated his daughter. He don't care about anybody else. Listen, if a man don't care about his kids, he don't care about nobody, including the woman that he may be with now. He don't care about his kids. He don't care about you. He getting something from you. I guarantee you that. That's a selfish person that don't care about his kids. I've seen women do that too. I'm not even disparaging anybody, but they get with this guy, and he ain't shit. He don't take care of his kids, but somehow she thinks he's a great man, and he gonna take care of her. No. If he gonna take care of your kids, you best believe there should be an expectation that he gonna take care of his, the other ones that he have. But if he ain't doing that, don't think for a moment that somehow he's a loving person, because no man, a father who is a loving father, is going to leave their children out there to dry like that. And Umar has done that. And he ain't even trying to do right. See? That's what I'm saying with Umar, you know. Yeah, he's a hate-filled person, and most of his hatred and vitriol is directed at black people. Thank you, Black Wolf. YouTube says, real talk, Umar Johnson boring me to tears wins FDMG. Yeah. A lot of his rhetoric, if you listen to it enough, you realize he's a bullshit. He's a professional bullshitter. That's what he does. He's entertaining though. Thank you, YouTube. Bougie M says, never gave financially, but I believed in his vision. Call me naive. It's extremely disappointing. Quick chat needed a laugh today. Okay. Yeah. So we did a poll yesterday. We'd ask people if you're a follower of Umar, meaning currently, if you were a follower of Umar, but you're no longer a follower of Umar, which is your case at this point. And then the other option was that you were never a follower of Umar. And overwhelmingly, I think it was like close to 75% or something like that of the people who voted, they were never followers of Umar. I don't think it's an issue of naivety when it comes to believing in vision, because it sounds great. It does. the idea of opening up a school for Black children and to give them an alternative education that's rooted in Umar calls it Pan Africanism, but we could just say in Black culture, you know, maybe even historical Black culture, you know, so this is more encompassing because Black people are not a monolith, and that there'll be Black teachers there and Black counselors and a Black principal and a Black bus driver, and you know they're going to be eating healthy and 90% raw vegan, and you know they're going to be teaching the boys how to float ships and fly airplanes and helicopters, and you know you're going to have take them over to Africa. I mean, it sounds great, doesn't it? There's going to be an FDMG farm. Kids can go and play with the farm. It sounds great. It does. It really does. You know, and I go on and on. You know, there was going to be a Black vegan sports bar and a bookstore, and people could come and you know read books, and there'd be a store for entertainment. They can watch old videos of Dr. Amos Wilson and you know Dr. Joanna Kunjufu. It sounds great. We're going to have conferences, and we have the Black male conference and the women's conference, and we're going to have yoga outside, and you know Lenon's going to be out there. He's going to be singing and playing the flute, and it's going to be all time people at the Cookie Crush chat's going to be there eating chocolate cake, and it sounds great. So I don't think it's an issue of naivety. I really don't. I think Umar sold something to people, and it appeared to be believable. But in terms of the execution of it, it turned out that Umar never intended to execute this vision. What he intended to do was to use this vision to get money out of people. And it's that simple. It's not an issue of naivety. Now, I've said this before. If someone followed Umar in 2014 and was donated because of the vision, I get it. But if they're still doing it in 2025, that's naivety. That's not even just naivety. I think that that's a delusion. They're operating in a shared delusion. That's the term I like to use, because Umar, he's in that delusion too. But if people, you know, you learned about Umar, let's say 8 years ago, you didn't donate because you wasn't sure, but then at a certain point you donated because you figured, hey, maybe this sounds legit. And then you keep donating up to 2025, I think that's a problem. But, you know, if it's only been a couple of years, I get it. I don't think that's the issue of naivety. That's the thing, too. I've talked about this is Black people. We believe in each other enough to where we're going to support each other when the vision seems to be something that is worthwhile. That's part of our culture. It's part of our culture. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we do that is ain't right, but that's part of our culture. We will lend a helping hand. If it seems as if it's going to be helpful for all, we'll support it. But the problem is that with Umar, this has been going on for such a long time that at this point, anyone who's still supporting this school scam in particular, they really have to I'm saying if they've been doing it for years now, they really have to look at themselves and ask the question, why? You know, why would I even put myself in a position to be supporting something like this for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years? You see what I'm saying? So again, it's not an issue of naivety. Umar, he sold a vision, he sold a dream. The problem is that he didn't intend on manifesting any of this. What he wanted was to use this as a lure to get money out of people. And that's what he's been doing now since at least 2009. And he's been at this a very long time. Thank you, Bougie Barbara, and welcome. Okay, welcome. And I'm hoping that more people will see the truth on this. Again, this doesn't mean that you Umar Johnson followers, if you're Umar Johnson followers, that you can't find value in things that Umar says. That's not the case. I'm not here to tell people that somehow everything that Umar says is not true. What I'm here to tell people is that the vast majority of what Umar says is just to manipulate people. And the goal with the manipulation is to exploit Black people financially and sexually. Okay, with the school, okay, this fake school, FDMG, that's financial exploitation. Okay. With the talking about sex all the time and crushing cookies and pina colada, hot fudge and warm salt and agave and all this stuff, the sexualization of women's and cookie crunch. I want to crush them cookies and all of this talk. That's about the sexual exploitation of Black women. So he will say whatever he needs to do to get what he wants. That's what narcissists do. It's a narcissist supply. Okay. Thank you, Bougie. I appreciate it. Rocky Desaki says, on behalf of the Cook Chat, tell your wife thank you for letting you spend time with us because we are definitely in a whole relationship. Hashtag Cook Chat family. Thank you. I appreciate that. My wife, she encourages me too because she knows that I get a lot of joy hanging out with y'all, and I don't do stuff that I enjoy that often because I'm either working or I'm working, or dealing stuff with the family, with the children. And I'm about to be 50, and I've made a commitment. Before I turn 50, I've already made a commitment that I'm going to do more things that I enjoy, and this is something that I really enjoy. I always look forward to it. Okay, so that's why I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rocky the Second, for the super chat and for the kind words. We, that's Umar. He's always talking about we, but it ain't never no we. One of the things Umar used to say, real quick, we'll get back to the video. Umar used to always say this, hit the one. He used to always say what? We working. Thousands of times when he up there at these trap bandos. Thousands of times. But if you go back and look at all the times he said that, 99% of the time it's just him up there. And ain't nobody doing nothing. There's nobody doing anything. Hit the one. Real quick, Randy, why does Umar do that too, by the way? Well, there's people who speculate, and it may be true that it's part of the multiple personality disorder. It may be true. There's people who said it may be him and these different entities that he's involved with. That may be true too. I'm going to put something else out there. I think that Umar, as a master manipulator, he knows that if he tries to include people and he says, we are doing this, or we need those donations, it makes people feel like they need these donations. The problem is that they're the ones giving the donations to Umar. And it's not benefiting we. You guys understand what I'm saying? It's benefiting Umar. That's why I think, in part, Umar, that's why I think he does what he does. He's a master manipulator. And there's people who fall for it too. Thanks, Randy. And then DeMar says, if Umar was in WWE, his walk-in song should be Ducky Stick by George. I used to love, and rest in peace, I used to love me some George Duke. I used to love me. I'm surprised you even know George Duke, because a lot of people don't know about George Duke. Speaking of WWE.
That's why you made Pan Africanism. That's why I took over this conscious shit by the fucking throat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. He be dropping F-bomb. He was tripping in this video. Let me skip through.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring.
I wish I could find a person who did this, and I would pay him to do a version where me and Umar comes down first, and I come down, and then we wrestle, like a WWF style. I wish I could find this. I would pay him because it'd be great entertainment.
From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 275 pounds, Dr. Umar.
You can see exactly why the arena.
Look at that guy back there. He got a white lady on his shirt. It looks like the basketball player. It looks like Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player. That's funny. Here we go.
It's full here tonight. This is a match with major stakes.
You the conscious Hulk Hogan? Papa Smurf? Motherfucker, you look like...
Oh, wait a minute. He called him Papa Smurf too. That's interesting. I forgot about that because Umar calls his daughter Baby Smurf. Just weirdo.
Tattoo from Fantasy Island with your stupid ass.
This is so WWF.
He calls himself the standard bearer of this division and plans on proving it in a matter of moments.
Who the fuck is you? Randy Macho Man Seti Savage? Who's a fucking...
Oh, this mouth, boy. Umar, cut it out. You gotta do all that.
Into the corner. This can't be good.
I ain't gonna lie. When I first saw this, I was rooting for Umar.
You the general? Well, I'm the prince.
Let me skip through because he was dropping N-bombs in here too. He was tripping so bad in this video.
Ran right through that close line.
Your problem is you got an inferiority complex. Don't blame me for that shit.
He was really trying to act like a thug. Had a little beanie on with the ball.
Speak your speech, nigga.
Yeah, okay, Umar. Anyway, I have another version of this. Umar does win this. I was so happy when he won. All right. Okay, thank you. Is that DeMar? Well, we got blowed off. Jam Jack, what's up? Says Cooker Chat, eat chocolate cake is eating chocolate cake is wild. Yeah, and drinking ginger ale. But the chocolate cake, because see, long time ago, when Umar, we got to that video where Umar was talking about he was going to have a black vegan sports bar. And he was saying how he was going to buy another building. And then it was going to be 3 levels. And one of the levels is going to be like a restaurant. And the food would have names to different, well-known black people. And I remember to this day, because that set it off, someone said a Malcolm X chocolate cheesecake, and I lost it. And then people were coming up with other, I remember someone said Tariq Nasheed Tariq Nasheed transatlantic tater tots or something like that. It was hilarious. So that's why I brought up the chocolate cake part, because someone said to Malcolm X chocolate cake. It was so funny. Someone even put together a menu and then sent it to me. I still have all that. And then we was going through the menu. All right. Thank you, Jam Jack. Okay, we got to get going here. We've already got to 500 likes, which is great. That's always our goal. Let me check in on this. The poll, we have 1,248 votes so far. Does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 desks to FDMG? 7% said yes, 93% said no. Okay, we're doing good on time. I just want to make sure we get through a little bit more of this before we start getting blowed off again. Here we go. And again, thanks everyone for the super chats. I appreciate it. Okay, appreciate y'all. Here we go.
About 6 years. When we talk about Black Wall Street, I'm gonna tell you what gives me the most caution. In order to build that hospital, that supermarket, that bank, that manufacturer, that distribution,
what are you talking about?
Plumbers, electricians, HVAC, carpenters, contractors I can trust.
Yeah.
There you go.
We just got a little school, bro. The money we lost being cheated by our own.
Yeah.
See, it's always to disparage black people. There's no proof that Umar was scammed by black contractors, that they did him dirty. There's no proof of that. This is just an excuse that Umar comes up with. See, if in fact they were stealing from the school, because this is one of the narratives that he's such a liar. I mean, this guy, he'll sit in his mama closet in the dark and just think of lies to explain why he's a failure, why it is he's a failure, and why he's tricked off over $1 million at this point. And so he blames the black contractors. That's what he's doing here. Remember, I said everything is negative about black people. That's his go-to. But if all of this happened, there was the painters, the black contractors, the black electricians. He even said electricians back in the day. If this is all true, Umar, why didn't you take them to court and sue them, not just for the money that you paid them, but sue them for damages too? Why didn't you do that? This makes sense to people. Hit the one. Why don't you just sue them? See, your goofy ass, you sent me a cease and desist years ago. But you're not going for nothing. But allegedly, these black people, because black people ain't shit. Let's just be real. This is the mentality. Black people ain't shit. They scammed you. They stole from the school. What they gonna steal from these trap bandos? What are you talking? Anyway, they stole from you. They was shady and blah, blah. They was overcharged. Well, if that's the case, Umar, if this really happened, why didn't you take them to court? You paid Marianne out $68,000. You tried to sue her for $500,000. Did we forget about that? You big chatty patty punk. This guy tried to steal her intellectual property. She did a whole movie for Umar and went through all kinds of hell with this guy. He didn't put not one dime in. Then he wants to try to steal her intellectual property and sue her for $500,000. And then here we are years later, and he has to pay her in an out-of-court settlement $68,000. So Umar, if you're going to be doing all this lawyer stuff, why didn't you just get one of your lawyers to to file suit against these black contractors and these black electricians and plumbers, because he said plumbers too, that's been scamming you and scheming you and blah, et cetera, et cetera. Well, because you're lying about all this. You're a pathological liar. You lied about renovations being complete. Said it was complete in 2023. I knew they weren't complete. You was looking out there bugging, looking like a straight crackhead. You did, look.
Public school or charter anywhere in the United States.
Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at this guy. Looking like a smoked out werewolf. Look at him. Damn. Scratching and shit.
And sisters,
look at it.
If you have a piece of art you want to donate,
if you got a TV I can smoke, just send it to me, family. See? Gator ass. This Gator.
we want FDMG to be Africa in America. I said we want FDMG to be Africa in America. I said we want FDMG to be Africa in America, brothers and sisters.
Look at it.
If you have a piece of art you want to donate, take a picture and text it to me before you.
Oh my God. If you got a piece of pie, you can text me. You got a piece of pie, you gonna give me. If you got some canned food, you know, Umar. If you got used oil, all right. You got any copper wire? I'll take that.
Send it. Do not send it to me without me seeing it. If you have a statue, you have a piece of art that you want to donate, take a picture of it on your cell phone and text me the picture. Dr. Umar, I would like to donate this poster, this painting, this picture, this statue. My number is 215-989-9858.
Look at
My
it.
number is 215-989-9858.
Boy, he was in a bad space.
My number is 215-989-9858. Peace and love, ladies. Hi, good to see y'all, baby. Good to see you. All right. Okay.
No, they didn't want no picture. Cut it out. Just cut it out. Just stop. You can come get a picture. No, they going. They going to go get some tacos or carrots or something. What you talking about?
I think she wanted to come get a picture with King Kong.
No. If she wanted to get a picture, she would have came up over there. She didn't come up over there. She was going to her own way. Once you stop with this shenanigans, if you want to get a picture, I think she wanted a picture. No, she didn't want a picture, Umar. Cut it out. Up here, let me am I being mean? I'm sorry. Am I going too far, y'all? If I am, please let me know. I apologize. We've had a rough week. It's been fun, but it's been rough.
That was one of my lady supporters. I think she wanted to come.
No.
Get a picture with King Kong.
No, cut it out, Umar. This sound like when you flip that phone, you was like, yeah, we're in the process of moving. We're in the process of moving to Wilmington, family. We're in the process of moving, y'all. Yeah. Y'all don't need to see that. That's what this sounds like, because you got embarrassed because she didn't want to get no. Look at him. See how embarrassed he is? I'm gonna play that back. He's so goofy.
Okay. I think she wanted to come get a picture with King Kong. That was one of my lady supporters. I think she wanted to come get a picture with King Kong.
We're in the process of moving, family. We're in the process.
You can get all the pictures you want, ladies, in Harlem, New York.
Cut it out. I'm being petty. I'm being so petty. All right, let's get back to it. I ain't gonna apologize because Umar, you deserve it, goofy. Okay, real quick. Jam also says Umar's thumbs scary. I can't unsee. Yeah. I can't unsee them. Lene said that his mother told her that she broke his thumbs, and I noticed that like his thumb, like You know, my thumb go like that. Maybe I shouldn't do that with Umar because based on what Nate was saying. But his thumbs, they bend way back like this. I'll do it like that. Yeah. Thanks, Jam. Manwamping says, thanks for exposing this shameless scammer and fake scholar and helping protect our community. More people need to follow your example with other pimps. Yeah, Umar, he comes from pimp culture. He does. And it's not just with the school. The way his approach to black women, it's pimp game. Not that he has game in a traditional sense. What I mean by the vernacular, it's not that. It's just that he exploits black women for financial gain and for sexual exploitation. There are pimps that I don't mean to talk like this, but there's pimp that they don't personally engage in sexual activity with prostitutes, right? The prostitutes that they're over, but there are some who do. In Umar's case, he exploits black women financially like a pimp would do, but then he also exploits them sexually as well. It's unfortunate. That's for the life, man. I shouldn't say it that way. I don't understand how it is that black people or some black people can see Umar and perceive him to be some sort of black leader and not see him for who he is. He is a master manipulator. I used to say a long time ago, he's like a shapeshifter too. You know, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, they deal with the Dominion and they're like a shape-shifting species. Odo is one of those. They can shape-shift in anything. He couldn't really do it that well when he first started, but as he got more into the series, he got better at it. Umar, he's like a metamorph. He changes into different things in order to manipulate people. And he does that. I think that's one of the reasons why people don't see him for who he is. And Umar, because he has different characters, I think people latch on to the character that they feel most comfortable with, and then they dismiss all the other characters, including the pimp archetype. That's Big Papa too, by the way. I've talked about this. Big Papa, that's the pimp archetype. Lothario. Then you have Lil Jermaine. That's Jermaine the child. That's really Umar's core personality. Okay, so you got the pimp. You got the little boy. That's why Umar, he's like a little boy. Lenon talked about this. He don't know how to do basic things that a man should know how to do. He's 51, right? Then you have Dr. Umar Johnson. That's the professional. Okay, that's the school psychologist, even though he's not. That's the school principal, even though he's not. That's when he dressed in the suits and the tie with the sometimes three-piece suits. He used to do that a lot back in the day. He's called himself a child therapist, which he's not. He's never been certified or licensed to be a child therapist. The child therapist is not the same as a school psychologist, but he'll play that role. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. Then you have Prince Ifatunde. That's the Pan Africanist. That's where he dresses in dashikis now, and then he goes over to Africa and he pretends to be, like he's really about the business. There's other ones too, but I'm just outlining this, and each one dresses different. Okay, how they present themselves. Also, King Kong consciousness. That's the fake thug. The SETI rant that I played earlier with the WWE, WWF. That's Umar in that type. So he's trying to dress they got a beanie on, looking at it, he's talking all that talk, trying to be tough. That's King Kong consciousness. King Kong consciousness usually comes out when Lil Jermaine feels threatened or if Lil Jermaine is embarrassed. So he's a metamorph. He's a I don't want to say it that way, but he's a transformer, as it were. See? He's a shapeshifter. So I think that's one of the reasons. And of course, the fake scholar. Yeah, the fake scholar. That's also tied to Dr. Umar Johnson. Because you can kind of group that into him supposedly being somehow he's a school psychologist. He's also a scholar. Yeah. And then people they'll pick up one of those or two of those that really resonates with them, and they hold on to that and they dismiss all the other shenanigans. But if you look at it as a whole, he's out of control. Real talk. He's so out of control. Real quick, I want to say that there was people from Africa, because I talked about Ifa yesterday, and we were talking about Umar and him being in cemeteries and all this kind of stuff. And there was a couple of maybe two or three people. I think it was three people over in Africa, and they were appalled by Umar's behavior and what he was doing and what he was saying in those cemeteries. But see, Umar will use that too. That's Nana Paniana. That's another character. He's this Ifa guy. He has another term to it. I can't remember what it is. the ephod, whatever it is. But that's another character that Umar plays, you know, where he's doing sacrifices and he's calling on Shango and all this other stuff. So he's a shapeshifter. See, the thing for me is that I saw a long time ago, I could tell that Umar, he has an identity crisis. I have this in the documentary too, that he doesn't know who he is. He's 51. He doesn't know who he is. He transforms into whatever he needs to be to exploit people at any given time, just like that. Right? And if he needs to be the pimp, he'll be the pimp. Yeah. That's why one time he slipped up. He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this event." Then he says, "I'm gonna be signing the bitches." Y'all remember that? Hit the one. Don't make me pull it up. Something, the conscious caravan, the lady was out there. He said, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna be signing the bitches." I said, "Okay." I know what time it was. Y'all remember that? That's that pimp culture. All under the name of, you know, he's some sort of great black leader who's here to liberate black people. All right. Someone said, pull it up. If there's anyone in here who haven't seen it, hit the 2. If it's enough of y'all, I'll pull it up. We're really supposed to be done in like 20 minutes. We still may make it though. Thank you for super chat. I appreciate it. D-That's what's up, man, says black contractors equal Pookie and Ray Ray. That's another thing too. Umar, he tries to act like it was all on the up and up. He wasn't pulling permits like he was supposed to. The last time I looked, there was probably like 3 or 4 permits pulled. This was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago the last time I looked. I wonder if there's more on there now. How you gonna renovate a whole school, allegedly a school, these abandoned buildings, and you don't pull but 3 or 4 permits back then? And so that's also the question I'm coming to is why is that the case? You know, why wouldn't there be, you know, permits being pulled consistently? Well, because most of the stuff that he had done up there wasn't done by professionals who were licensed and bonded. He had Pookie and Ray Ray coming through. Don't make me pull up even the lawn care. Don't make me pull that up. Well, I'm being petty. I'm being so petty. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. That's too far. Anyway, he had Pookie and Ray Ray come through. Let me. I saw a lot of twos in here. What was I talking about? I was going. The signing. The Umar said he was gonna be signing the bitches. Umar, this guy was at the 15-minute mark. Watch this.
Then you're gonna open hand when I say.
He was tripping in this video too, because she was talking. No, this ain't even it. I'm sorry, I put up the wrong one.
There may be a time if you want to pull.
You said
Because he's gonna be answering those
500.
Yeah, let me pull up the
FDMG school, Hong Kong consciousness.
Look at this guy. Yeah, let me get the other one. It's not this. This ain't the right one. This is a short version.
Test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Prince of Pan Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, King Kong consciousness.
Okay, so are we ready? We're ready. Okay, I'm trying to get one of your.
Hit your Cash App. $ FDMG School. Hit your Cash App. We need the support, brothers and sisters. $ FDMG School. Hit your PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Shout out to all my African brothers and sisters been donating. That's another thing too, Queen Mother. We just started our PayPal donations, right? And the African brothers and sisters from the continent, they've been sending in what they could, and it feels so good.
2020.
Because you know, in some of our countries, our people struggling financially, and they still finding it within their capacity to still donate to the school all the way from Africa. So I want to give a shout out to my African brothers and sisters who donating all the way from Africa. That's very, very powerful. Wilmington, Delaware will be the next Black Wall Street. Y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready. Shout out to Wilmington. Thank you for all the love. Wilmington, be good.
I think this is it.
Like if you do this right.
Oh no, this ain't it either.
You come back to me if you want to show me answer.
Hold on.
Okay, we gonna keep it popping. Harlem, New York, October 30th, 2 to 8. Allah Temple in Mecca, Gaza
Yeah,
and Earth
this is the
headquarters
right
is going
video,
down.
but this is the, I can't find the other one. It's another one. Wait a minute, is this it right here? Oh wait, no, I think this is it right here. No, this is the right video, but this is the one from the same day. Maybe this is it. Because he changed his clothes. Let me see. Yeah, this is it right here. Here we go.
Question, you're gonna put that
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so October the 30th of 2020 will be 10 years exactly in the same borough. Harlem debut was 10/30/10, and the Harlem return is 10/30/20.
Find a place to do the book signing?
Yeah, I sent you the flyer. We're gonna be at the Nation. Yes, I did. You must got 2 cells, Queen Mother. I'm gonna send it to you again.
Send it to the 917.
917. Yeah, we're gonna be at the Guys and Earths Temple.
See him gaslighting? He said you must have 2 phones. What you mean? This guy.
The Guys and Earths. That's on that's in Harlem.
Earth Temple. And that's
Allah Temple in Mecca is what they call it.
And it's gonna be from when to when? On
October 30th. October the 30th from 2 to 8. We might try to set up a microphone out there so I can bless the same streets that the Honorable Marcus Garvey used to bless. So we're going to bless the people. Thank New York City for holding me down for 10 years. Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island, Bronx, Boogie Down, Queens, all of New York. And then I'm going to start signing the pictures, excuse me.
That's y'all's principle.
And taking the pictures.
All right, that sounds powerful.
Slip of the tongue, excuse that.
First, we're going.
He went right into the comment section. He was like, hit the one. Listen, he went. Yeah, I know. He went right and looked right into them comments. He's like, oh shit. One more time.
Holding me down for 10 years. Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island, Bronx, Boogie Down, Queens, all of New York. And then I'm gonna start signing the pictures, excuse me, and taking the pictures.
All right, that sounds powerful.
Slip of the tongue, excuse that.
First, we're going to talk about
said
the
that
books.
sounds powerful.
Yes.
Second, we're going to talk about, this is the question
How
I
is
have,
that powerful,
obviously,
though?
now that we're in the midst of this pandemic.
One more time. I don't mean to be
Educating
petty.
African children in the midst of a pandemic.
Gotcha.
What suggestions you have for parents right now? A lot of parents are being
Holding me down for 10 years. Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island, Bronx, Boogie Down, Queens, all of New York. And then I'm gonna start signing the pictures, excuse me.
Well, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
And taking the pictures.
all right, that sounds powerful.
Slip of the tongue, excuse that.
First,
She said, that sounds powerful. She said, though, that sounds very powerful. Yeah. Fighting the bitches. Yeah. Let me play one other thing just to show Umar's mentality for black women, for some of y'all to think about. This is from 2021. Most people ain't never seen this. I'm the only one that had it. Some people may have it now because I played it so many times. Watch this. Because the thing is, he took it down. He took it down like so quick, but I had gotten a hold of it. Notice he's inside of a club. Yeah, let me get to the part where he started running his mouth.
Shut up. You know what's funny? Fat ass. Damn, she had a fat ass. Shut up. Hey, you know what's funny? When I'm in the line, I can't look at their ass because all the guys is looking at me and I'm going to look at their ass. So I couldn't even get a look at it.
No, you can look at their ass. Why you can't look at her ass?
Not appropriate.
Wait, so you put the look out of here. Be watching to see what you gonna look at?
All the dudes watching, when the girls come in the line, they look at you.
So what?
And I wanted to see her ass, but I couldn't look.
That's said. You can look. Why you have to? Well, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know what else to show y'all. I mean, I can go on for hours. I can just pull up stuff, but I'm talking about you, Umar Johnson followers. You got this is someone you want to be taking care of and teaching your children and influencing your children. I don't think so. Nope, no way. I want to be clear about something that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg dealing with Umar. We've only seen what he has been doing online for the most part. We have people like Lene and Sister Mary Ann Laurent who've shown, let us into a glimpse. They're two people out of, I mean, Umar, he's been running amok in the Black community now for it's been about almost 30 years now. And there's literally thousands of people with testimonials that will shed light on Umar's true character. Far more than what the digital internet forensics and videos and interviews and audio interviews that we've looked at and I've researched online, because most of his dirt occurs offline. I just want people to think about that. Yeah, Umar, he's something else. All right, let's get back to the main video. Let me check in on this poll. The poll, we have 1,400 votes, so we did fantastic. Does Umar have a good excuse? We're going to go we'll go for another 23 minutes. Let's see, does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 student desk to FDMG? 7% said yes, 93% said no, right? Let's see here. RPG TV says Umar's only shape is round. Only shape is round. Yeah. Thank you. Jackson says true, Lenon. He never formed an identity as a man. Yeah, he didn't. His core personality though is little Jermaine, which is a little boy. And I can pull up a video to show you exactly what I mean. I've shown many times. Little Jermaine is his core personality, and he has all these other personalities or characters that he pulls from, but he's really just a frightened little boy. He's trying to survive in the world and doesn't know how to survive as a man. So he's never he suffers with an identity crisis. I talked about that in the documentary. He does. He doesn't know who he is, and if you don't know who you are, you're not going to know what you're here for. And if you don't know what you're here for, you're gonna be subject to all types of vices, and addictions and exploiting other people to fulfill those addictions. A lot of what Umar does is it's just coming from a place of someone who's he has these different addictions, sex being another one of them, admiration because of the narcissism. And he goes through great lengths to try to fulfill these narcissistic supply, to fulfill these needs, but it's always at the expense of Black people. But the core issue is he never formed an identity as a man. He never became a man to this day. So still living in mama house when he can. Mama calls 51, living off your mama. Raise millions of dollars. Okay, yeah. Miranda sent a super chat. Thank you so much for super chat. Says, I am a certified school teacher who referred my students for assistance. Mom was on board. Last minute, an uncle popped up and stopped everything. He was spewing Umar's rhetoric. Here we go. I had to research him because my daughter put me on and I was devastated. Yeah, Umar has had a profoundly negative impact on Black parents who have their children in the school system. I talked about this years ago because there was a woman who called in. I remember she was crying. She had called in. Umar's dangerous. So what Umar, he set up a situation where there are Black parents who follow Umar and they believe what he says. They don't do their own. I don't mean to be like this, but they don't do their own research. Umar's not a researcher either. He doesn't know how to research. I know how to research, but Umar doesn't know. Umar can't even sit at a computer and be functional at a computer because he's antiquated. He don't like dealing with technology on that level. He get on his phone, but that's because it's right there in his hand. But he don't know how to research anything. And so he says things and he gives a horrible advice. What he's done is he's turned Black parents against Black teachers and Black counselors and Black vice principals and Black principals and Black bus drivers. This goes on and on and on. He's turned Black parents against all of them. So there's no trust there. And I'll tell you guys right now, some of you guys know this, that if you have children, you have to work with, it's not just you send your children to school. You got to be able to work with the teachers. You know, you got to be able to talk with them. They be sending me emails. I email them back. If things happen, you got to be up there. But there has to be trust. But if you have this mindset that Umar, and he spewed this for decades now, you have this mindset that the school system and everyone's there against you, and they want to put your child in special education, and they want to put them on drugs, and they want to, that's their agenda. Not to educate, not to take care of your kids, not to help. They want to put them into prison, the school to prison pipeline. So there's parents who believe that. So that's the mentality that people, there are some Black people who they go into these situations and they think that that's what they're up against, when in point of fact, their orientation and mentality should be one of a level of partnership with the school system, with the teachers, with the counselors, so forth and so on, so that they know you, and then you build a rapport, and so that when things do take place, you guys handle it. It's not just you handling it, the school handles it too. I have a daughter. She could actually graduate this year if she wanted to. She could graduate early. But she's going to go for her senior year because they're going to be paying, not even that they're paying, but they're going to be putting her in classes where she'll be taking college courses at a community college, and we don't have to pay for any of it because she knows what she wants to do for her career and all this type of thing. I told her, you go to college and you're going to be working. Well, you better, I'll tell all my kids that. I'll encourage them to go to college, but it's up to them. I don't put no pressure on them. So they had a field trip recently, and it was on a college campus. And I'm not going to say too much, but what ends up happening is that the teacher that was part of the tour, she sent me an email. She said, listen, I want to let you know everything's okay. We had the situation. I'm just letting all the parents know this happened, blah, 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 blah. And then she went on for like 2 paragraphs just saying all these positive things about my daughter. I was proud. I was so proud. I was so proud, because you want to see your children, do well. And I can tell the way she was talking about my daughter was like, yeah. And I emailed her back, and I was like, thank you for letting me know about all this. I appreciate it. I'll talk to my daughter too to make sure everything's okay with her. And I talked with her. She said, everything's fine. It wasn't a big deal, but I was really, I was just proud. The point is that if I adhere to Umar's rhetoric, I'm thinking that the whole school system is against my daughter, and they trying to put her in the school to prison. Fuck all that. And they trying to put her on psychotropic drugs against your will. It don't work like that. They're trying to put them into special education as part of segregation. This is Umar's, as if there ain't white kids up in there. He's dangerous. And then you have teachers, there are parents that think that somehow the teacher's out to get him. No, maybe your child ain't studying right. Or maybe you ain't putting in the effort to make sure your child is on cue and doing what they need to do. First thing when my children get home, I give them a hug when I'm home. Okay. I give them a hug. Or if I get home after they get home from school, first thing I do, I go check on them. I give them a hug. How you doing? How was school today? Do you have homework? Sometimes it's because these days kids don't be getting homework like we did. We used to have homework for like days. I don't know, because part of it's because of technology. All they just do it on the everything's more efficient. Y'all remember that? Sometimes they have homework. I say, okay, well, get on it. Go and get on it right now. Let's take care of it now. You have the rest of your day, do what you want to. Sometimes they don't. I said, okay, just to check in. Anything happened at school today? Everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, everything's okay. I drop my daughters off now that it's getting cold. I drop them off at the bus stop in the morning. I don't have to. It's not that cold, but I want them to know that their daddy got their back. In fact, what I tell all of my kids before they go to school, I said, listen, I said every single morning, I say, if you need anything, call me or text me. Okay. They rarely do, but I want them to know that I'm invested in their lives. I'm invested in their education, and I got their back no matter what. Sometimes I remember recently I told my oldest son, I said, listen, son, I just want you to know that I love you no matter what. No matter what, I'm going to love you. He says, I love you too, Dad. I said, oh, yeah, but I said, no matter what. He said, yeah, I heard you. I said, and he says, same thing here. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? The point that I'm getting at is that sometimes it's about the parents and what we need to do and what we need to do better. And we can always do better. I've been really doing a whole lot better, I don't know, the last 7 years, or at least, 6 years, gotten things back on track, so forth and so on. The point is that Umar, he paints the picture. It's amazing too, because there's a dichotomy. He paints a picture that the school system, the teachers, the school psychologists, the principals, the counselors, they're all out to get Black children and to, destroy the Black home and destroy the Black family, all this kind of shit. But then he turns around and he talks so poorly about Black parents, like Black parents ain't shit. All right, not to belabor this, but I just want to be clear. Umar's dangerous. You got a parent thinking on that level like Umar, it's a problem. See, Umar's a problem anyway, but it's like a virus. He spreads this virus that turns into the disease, and then you have parents who are out here, they're fighting against a system that's actually trying to help their kids. Now, are all teachers great? No, that's not what I'm saying. But to paint all teachers, everyone at school as if they're out to get your child, it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Umar don't even take care of his own. Yeah, he's dangerous. Real talk. Thank you for the super chat. It's unfortunate. I mean, I can pull up the video where the brother called in. That's another example. The brother called in from Chicago and went in on Umar because Umar gave horrible advice to his wife, and she went behind his back because she thought Umar was legit. He's caused all types of problems. And that's just one example that we were able to catch online. Who knows how much stuff he's done offline, because this is just the tip of the iceberg that we're dealing with. Okay. Thank you, Miranda, for a super chat. Lady says, signing up the bishops for decades. Yeah. See, the thing is that the way that Umar sees these events, it's an opportunity to get at these women. So he's trying to talk about signing books, but he slips up and says signing bitches. Who does that? Why would that even come out your mouth? Because that's how he sees y'all. That's why he says Germaniacs. Anybody know what Germaniacs are, by the way? He said, yeah, my Germaniacs, especially when he talk about New York. He said Germaniacs in New York and Atlanta, because evidently he'd be getting down and dirty in Atlanta. Anybody know what Germaniacs are? Well, listen, not to be crude, but the Germaniacs, I'm just using the vernacular that we grew up on. Germaniacs, those are Umar's bitches. Those are his groupies. Y'all ever heard him say that? So that's how he think about y'all. And he tries to add more to the harem as he progresses, and he's been doing this for decades now. Just filthy. Yeah, for decades. Yep. Thank you, lady. Miranda also says, I later found out about Umar, and a lot of followers were following him heavily, and these men would not let their children get tested. It was awful. Yeah, that's another. I've talked about this too, that there are children who are not they're not being provided with psychological service, professional mental health services or psychological services, because their parents are denying that for their child based upon what Umar says. Where in point of fact, they do need those tests, they do need those resources to help them to manage better in a school environment in particular. That's dangerous. If your child needs help, you go get the help. Umar don't even take care of his own kids. I mean, let me say something. Umar is literally batshit crazy. Why would anyone want to believe anything that he says? I'm talking about real talk. Up here, He's nuts. He's Delulu. He's no different than, you know, the people that be on the corner be talking to themselves, because Umar does that shit too, truth be told. You know, people that be seeing things and be talking, hearing voices, that's Umar. I have a video I can pull up right now where he was out in the snow looking all this shelf, and he's saying he's seeing things and hearing things, and it's live, and nothing what he's saying, he's seeing and hearing, it can't nobody see or hear except Umar, because it didn't exist. But people, for some reason, they take his advice, and there are children who are suffering because of it. That's a huge issue right there. Don't make me pull up the video where Umar was talking so reckless about children who are dealing with suicidal thoughts, and he says something like, the way he says it's almost, it's a disgrace. He's a disgrace. No reverence for the living, no reverence for the dead, no respect for the living, no respect for the dead. And he's giving a lot of horrible advice. And there are children out there, black children, who suffer because their parents are taking Umar's bootleg, batshit crazy advice. It is. It's awful. That's what I'm saying. He's so dangerous. Thank you, Miranda. Is that Damar says, I was talking to my mother about Umar as I was watching one of your live streams. I told her the whole story, and right out the gate, she said mental. That's what we were just talking about. Umar, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, Umar should be in like a mental asylum. Real talk. He could think about this guy, just how he sees things and how he sees what he conceptualized. A 500-acre campus with the river that's shaped like Africa around this 500-acre campus, and there's going to be 2 schools. There's going to be a track and field facility, and there's going to be air traffic control tower. There's going to be a landing strip for airplanes and helicopters and hangars and a zoo, and there's going to be a hospital, and we're going to have dormitories for the kids. And the list goes on and on and on. And buildings for all trades, so they can all learn the trades, different trades, all of them. And he ain't got a penny. He ain't even got a job at the time, but this is what he comes up with. He's mental. When Umar was gambling, he's, hey family, I don't know how to gamble. This guy, he's out there. But people, I don't mean to laugh, but there are people that I don't care. That's the theme of the day. I don't get it. I don't see why people don't see this. The guy's literally, he's batshit crazy. But there are people who have some wisdom. They see it right away. They say, oh, this guy, he crazy. Thank you for the super chat. Everybody, thank you for the super chats. Okay, we're going to start winding this down. Miranda also says, I now know how to handle this BS and shut it down. Thanks, Lenon. But some students really need help and need meds. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. It's not my call, but a doctor's call. I have my data together to prove my points. Furthermore, the parent has to consent. See, Umar, he paints the picture as if the teacher is conspiring against the child. The school psychologist is conspiring with the child. The principal, and then psychiatrists as well, that they're all conspiring against the child to put him on medication. That's not how that works. And that is forced. It's this conspiracy and they're trying to force it. That's not how that works. A parent has to consent. So people have to do their research and do their due diligence. The point is that if a child needs mental health services, and if that leads to medication or not, it may not even lead to medication. It could be therapy. If they need that, a parent should do the responsible thing, which is to, at the very least, get them to a professional, not Umar, get them to a professional to have them tested. And that's it. You don't even have to go further than that. Just to make sure. But Umar has set up this scenario where parents perceive everything and everyone to be a threat to their children, including people that could help their children in different ways. Let me tell y'all one other thing. I've had some shitty teachers. when I was young. Yeah, I did. I had a couple of them, and I didn't like them. This one guy was bullying this little girl. We were all young back then, and I stood up to him and I said, "You shouldn't be talking to." We was in class. You shouldn't be talking to her like that. And I just was going off on it. I wasn't cursing or nothing. He says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a pink slip. That's just pink papers. They send you to the office." I say, "Well, go on ahead then." And he was like, "Let me tell y'all this story," because he thought he was the shit. He wasn't even like, he was like a substitute. But he was there for like a couple months, but he was treating people so poorly. And I've always been like that. You ain't going to be bullying people, especially the little girl. I said, well, go on ahead and do it then. I wasn't playing. So he was, okay. He starts writing, blah, blah. And then he goes like this. I walk up there and I walked right out, went right into the office. When I walked up in there, the everybody that was up in there, they looked and they was like, and I held it up like this. And I was like, oh, Lenon, what happened? Because I never, they knew me for a long time. I ain't messing with nobody. I ain't causing no problems. Ain't never been in no problem. Don't cause none. Ain't gonna be nothing. They put me with a counselor, and I told them what happened, and they took me to the vice principal. Then they took me to the principal, which was Miss Johnson. She knew my family, from long time ago. And I told her what happened. They fired his ass. It was like the following week, he was out of there. I've had some shitty teachers, but I've also had some teachers that took me under their wing and treated me like a son. Arnie Christensen, as an example. He was the music teacher. He treated me like a son. He was a white dude too. Fuck you, me. Treated me like a son. Went way out of his way to make sure that I had opportunities as a flute player. That he wasn't even doing that for anybody else, but he knew my situation. He knew what I was dealing with as a child. He saved my life. Real talk. He saved I would have been up out of here. I know that for a fact. I would have been up out of here. This guy, he went so far as to transcribe, and it had never been transcribed before, this arrangement by, I think it wasn't Bach, it was somebody else. I can't even remember who it was, but he transcribed it for flute, and it had never been done before. And then he transcribed the flute part and all of the string parts, and then put together rehearsals with the orchestra so that I could play with the orchestra. And he did all that on his own time, transcribed all of it. The point that I'm making is, Umar, the way that he paints everything, it's all negative all the time. That's not how life is. Now, is everything positive all the time? No, that's not how life is either. But the problem with Umar is everything is always negative, and he's done some extreme damage to parents, and then it filters down into what the children are able to experience. It also denies children help that they need, that could not only make their lives easier, but in some cases save their lives. One last story. Miss Winston knew and rest in peace, Miss Winston, she knew my family from like my aunts and my mama from a long time ago. And Miss Winston went way out of her way to help the family in different ways, because we all went to that school. It was SCPA, then it went to it was O'Farrell, then it went to SDSCPA. It was a whole new campus. They left all the thugs and the gangbangers at the old school. Now everybody else who had talent, they said, come to SDSCPA. That's funny, but that's how it worked. And I remember that my girlfriend, and I didn't know when we got together, but it was Miss Winston's niece. And the waiting list to get in that school was long, but what Miss Winston did was she made arrangements so that my girlfriend could attend our school for like the last, 5 months of that school year. It was her niece, so she was, looking out for her niece, and she was looking out for me. She knew the family and everything. So no, it's not that everyone is against our children, and if the school system is all crooked and none of that. It's that Umar's crooked. Now, I'm gonna leave it right there. Thank you, Miranda, for the super chat. RPG TV says it honestly seems like Umar wants to isolate us as blacks from society and keep us ignorant, afraid, and powerless. Yeah, but that's part of the cult dynamic. Umar, he's very possessive, and he feels as if he's in control of black people. Even and see, amazingly, it's not amazing, but he disparages black people. But it's a form of abuse to break black people down so that they perceive him to be like their savior, and they're subservient to him. It's like a master-slave relationship. So yeah, he wants to keep people ignorant and afraid. You know, they're afraid of all these because he has these issues anyway with paranoia. A lot of that shit filters into what he's talking about, but he wants us to feel afraid and to feel powerless because he's the one, therefore, who has all the power and he has all the answers. But he ain't nothing but a bum from Philly who has some serious mental health issues, real talk, and is a sexual deviant and a deadbeat and a baby mama creator and has been leeching off of his own mama at the age of 51. What kind of man? And in a nutshell, that's who Umar is. He's a con man. All right. And then Gwendolyn says, schools are not just handing out assistance. It was a struggle for me to get the help that I needed. And I graduated with high grades with my parents fighting to help get me assistance. Yeah. Again, nothing is ever ideal. This is true. Nothing is ever ideal. And yeah, there's going to be struggles. Even when I was in school, I'm not saying that everything was perfect. I had some horrible teachers too. The point is that parents have to be there to fight for what their children needs, not what their children need, not just give up and think that the whole school system is against their child and therefore deny their children what their children need. Does this make sense? And that's what Umar's whole platform is about. It's about making parents, in particular black parents, think that everyone is out to get your child, and that instead of seeking and fighting for your child to get help, that you should not seek that help at all. And then children suffer as a consequence. And then who is the person that's supposed to come in and provide the help? Well, that will be Umar. That's what these black parent teleconferences are all about. He doesn't do them that often anymore, but that's what that was about. See, it's in my mind, it's better for a parent to struggle to try to get the help that their children and resources, gain access to the resources that their children need, than to just give up, no matter how hard it is. But see, what Umar does is he puts black parents and therefore black children in a very disadvantaged position because they're not even trying in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for the super chat. And then the Smart Barbie says, I lose it every time you say a bum from Philly. No, real talk. If you guys really think about it, that's what Umar, in a nutshell, that's what he is. And if he did not have the internet, he would be out there panhandling in the street. Literally. And that's not being facetious, and I'm not, that's not hyperbole either. I'm not exaggerating. Literally, if Umar did not have access to the internet, he would be reduced to being out on the street corner begging for money. He's just a bum from Philly who has internet access and a cell phone and a PayPal account. That's it. And then a PO box for checks, money orders, and raw cash. All right, man, we're supposed to finish right now, but I got to get through the rest of this video. So I'm going to let this play. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to limit my commentary. Here we go. Thank you guys so much for your patience too.
Never finished their work. Yeah. The ones who took their deposit. Yeah.
Here we go.
The people we paid who never finished their work. Yeah. The ones who took their deposit and never came back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about the black contractors, trying to blame them.
My brother,
see him?
I see why.
Mm-hmm. You see him he's just making all this up.
Even if we got the money to build Black Wall Street, I see why we ain't building it. Because the people who got the skills to erect these institutions and give us this infrastructure, they are all about the money, but not providing the service. Yeah. Not all.
No, see that? This is Umar projecting. Umar's the one who is all about the money, but not about a surface. He hasn't produced anything, but he's collected $2.7 million, probably close to $3 million by now.
Oh, yeah. Not most. Yeah. But when I talked to my elders about what we went through with FDMG, they were not.
What elders are you talking about?
Right. They said, Dr. Umar, I went through the same thing opening my business. I went through the same thing getting my house fixed. And they talk about how they had to end up going to people of another community because so many black contractors are swindling and scamming and taking deposits when you know you ain't got enough time to deliver.
Right.
To be honest with you, brother, that's the biggest problem right there. Let me give you an example. I'm a plumber, right? I got a crew of 10.
This is what I call hypothetical realities, where Umar creates these. It's like Umar in Fantasyland. These it's a narrative, but it's delusional.
I only got enough time for 10 projects, but I got 20 people who want me.
Yeah.
Whether than exercise character and integrity and tell the other 10, I can get to you, but it ain't gonna be till March. They not gonna wait.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sign this contract,
Yep.
take their deposit,
Yep.
knowing damn well I'm not gonna get to them till next summer. You see that?
Yeah.
So
Umar, cut it out. It's been close to 7 years. Furthermore, if this is happening, you take them to court. You sue them to get your money back. You can sue them for lost time, whatever.
what we need our contractors to do, and again, it's not everybody. We got good ones. But we need our contractors to become more financially ethical. The problem that I'm finding with black contractors, they're not able to turn away money that they know they cannot legally, they don't have the discipline to turn away money that they cannot ethically deliver on. You see that? Anybody who called them for a job, they taking that deposit knowing damn well I might can't get to you for 2 years. That's my problem with us. Stop scamming the people. Because if we talking about building Black Wall Street,
look who's talking.
we're talking about more than a couple $100,000. We're talking about tens of millions. That kind of money gets you unalived. You see what I'm saying? That kind of money gets you unalived, but that's
Umar, you talking reckless, because you done taken, it's got to be close to $3 million by now, and not one black child's been educated.
That's also why I want to open Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. Because I need these children to understand if you're going to get into this construction trade, because we're going to have the trades in high school, treat
This guy, he's bullshitting. Notice how he doesn't have a plan. He's not articulating any conclusive plan of action to get this project complete. Just excuses after excuse. That's all it is.
people with ethics, man. All we got is us. You know, it hurt me to have to go to white people to finish us up, bro. But if I kept waiting on us,
What you mean to finish this up? It's not finished, Umar.
but it never got done. And I go to the Caucasians, right? Don't get me wrong. They over.
Now you see, that's another hypothetical where he's talking about it's like talking as if it's already done, a hypothetical reality. He's a trip.
But they finished.
How does it make you feel, right, as somebody who, because I see you get attacked all the time, you get called all these different names, and people are, questioning your character and things of that nature. How does it feel as somebody who's like literally given your whole life, like this is your movement, the movement is your life,
Listen, Faison, let me be clear about something, homeboy. What has Umar given? Give me 10 things that Umar Johnson has given, and don't say him talking, running his mouth, because that's all he do. Give me 10 things that Umar has given. You can't do it. He's not a giver, he's a taker. So cut the shit.
I see your schedule. I see this is what you do, right?
Since 4th grade.
Listen, since 4th grade, here we go. Here we go. And your schedule, boy, I tell you, there ain't nothing on there.
Right. But putting your life into something that's not loving you back, like how does that make you feel?
Cut it
Great
out.
question. Here's the thing. 99% of African people who know Dr. Umar globally love Dr. Umar. But you have that untalented 1%.
Here you go.
Right? The problem is the coonery gets all the attention. Positivity don't sell. Our people don't want to hear parents talk about how Dr. Umar say their kids from autism and special ed in jail. That ain't.
Okay, listen, you can't save a child from alt. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That didn't even make any sense, Umar. But that's Umar. He's just coming up with shit. He's lying. So he's just coming. You gonna save a child from autism? This guy, boy, let me let it go.
I want to hear the ninja-ish, right? So I want to hear the scams about the women. I want to hear about him stealing money.
Yeah, and all of that's true. You see what I'm saying?
Nothing with no proof, though. Right. Here's what the crazy thing.
No. I can prove, Umar, because I've already produced a video, because you said in 2025 that you haven't raised $1 million, but I can prove, and I've already proven it, that just from 2020 through 2024, you raised over $1 million. What are you talking about? I can pull it up right now and play it, but I'm not going to do it because we got to finish up. Here we go.
Nobody yet has shown any proof of any misappropriation.
All right, we're going to stop. Hold on. I got to do it. I got to. This guy, I mean, he lies so much, it's incredible. And then the notion that there is no proof is asinine, Umar. Give me 1 second, everybody. He said, okay, there's no proof. And I'm specifically talking about the money. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think it's in this folder. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on a second. Here we go. So Umar's saying that there's no proof, and specifically about the donations and the amount of money that he's raised. Here you go.
And he took his first FDMG Academy donation on April 14, 2014.
I want to say thank you to all my donors. Where are my donors at? How many of y'all been donating since the first fundraiser, April the 14th, St. Louis 2014?
On April 3rd, 2025, Umar Johnson said the following on It's Up There podcast.
Now, mind you, Black Lives Matter raised what? $100 million? I don't think they ever got audited. We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You
like,
ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
What Umar Johnson is saying is that by April of 2025, he had not raised $1 million for FDMG Academy.
We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You
like,
ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
Even though Umar Johnson claimed that he had not raised $1 million by April of 2025, video evidence, interview evidence, podcast evidence, lecture evidence, and IRS nonprofit financial records prove that Umar Johnson had raised well over $1 million by April of 2025. For the purpose of this video, we will specifically examine online records related to the purchase price of the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, Umar Johnson's own words, and Umar Johnson's IRS filings for the year 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. On February 9, 2019, Umar Johnson announced that he had acquired abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware.
Brothers and sisters, I'm glad to announce right here today on Saturday, February the 9th, 2019, Black History Month, that the location of the first Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be in the great state where Marcus Garvey incorporated the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation. Marcus Garvey incorporated the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation in the state of Delaware, 1919. And Dr. Umar Johnson, with the funds donated and invested in him by our people, have purchased the first Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy in the great state of Delaware, 2019.
In the school announcement video, Umar Johnson did not disclose how much money he spent to acquire the abandoned buildings. Online records show the purchase price as $400,000. In an interview on the Lord Jamar Godcast dated October 12, 2020, the topic of the purchase price was brought up.
You end up purchasing 2 buildings, yes?
4 buildings.
4 buildings, okay. For about
2 schools, 4 buildings.
2 schools, 4 buildings for $400,000.
It was more than that.
Okay. Well,
notice that Umar Johnson stated that the purchase price was more than $400,000. Umar Johnson did not reveal exactly how much more the purchase price was.
2 schools, 4 buildings for $400,000.
It was more than that.
Okay. Well, Everybody wants to know, where's the extra money? Where'd the extra money go?
For the purpose of this video, we will accept the online record as factual and establish that the purchase price was at least $400,000. Therefore, we can state that by February 9, 2019, Umar Johnson had raised at least $400,000 to purchase the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. With $400,000 established as the minimum amount of donation money raised, we can now review Umar Johnson's IRS Form 990 return for the year 2020. The Form 990 is an organization exempt from income tax document that must be submitted to the IRS in order to maintain nonprofit status. Umar Johnson's nonprofit status associated with the FDMG Academy allows Umar Johnson to collect FDMG Academy donations without having to pay taxes on the money raised. Umar Johnson's IRS Form 990 return shows that Umar Johnson reported to the IRS that he received no FDMG Academy donations for the year 2020. However, under the Part 10 balance sheet section, Umar Johnson reported that he had $518,048 cash in a non-interest-bearing account at the beginning of 2020. This cash is the FDMG Academy donation money left over after he purchased the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware for at least $400,000. Logically, therefore, we can add the 2019 purchase price of at least $400,000 to the remaining cash in the non-interest-bearing account of $518,048. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the beginning of 2020 was $918,048. It must be noted that the document also shows that the end of the year cash balance was $572,409. Logically, therefore, we can add the 2019 purchase price of at least $400,000 to the end of the year remaining cash in the non-interest-bearing account of $572,409. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2020 was $972,409. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return document for the year 2021 shows that Umar Johnson raised $177,892 in 2020 and $116,585 in 2021. Since Umar Johnson did not report the $177,892 to the IRS on his 2020 Form 990 return, we can add the $177,892 to the total FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2020 was $1,150,301. We can now add the $116,585 raised in 2021 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2021 was $1,266,886. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return for the year 2022 shows that Umar Johnson raised $0 in donations. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return document for the year 2023 shows that Umar Johnson raised $121,646 in 2022 and $204,822 in donations in 2023. Since Umar Johnson did not report the $121,646 to the IRS on his 2022 Form 990 return, we can add the $121,646 to the total FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2022 was $1,388,532. We can now add the $204,822 raised in 2023 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2023 was $1,593,354. Umar Johnson's Form 990 document for the year 2024 shows that Umar Johnson raised $84,506 in 2024. We can now add the $84,506 raised in 2024 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculation shows that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2024 was $1,677,860. Therefore, it can be factually stated that Umar Johnson has raised a bare minimum of $1,677,860 in FDMG Academy donations through the year 2024. A critical question that we should ask is, why did Umar Johnson tell people in April of 2025 that he had not raised $1 million in FDMG Academy donations?
Now, mind you, Black Lives Matter raised what? $100 million? I don't think they ever got audited. We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You
like,
ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
And there you have it. There's the proof. What are you talking about, Umar? Furthermore, I want people to be clear about something, and I'll break this down in the documentary. These are just figures from the IRS filings, and then including the purchase price. We're not talking about donations that Umar received in 2025, 2014, 15, 16, 17, or 18. And then if we really want to get with it, because he was collecting money for FDMG related stuff going all the way back to at least 2009. We're not counting 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. All the way up to 2019 and then 2025. See, the numbers don't lie. And anyone, you can go do these calculations yourself. You can go pull the documents and everything. So when Umar says that they don't have any proof, no, I always have proof. Okay, you're a con man and a scam artist. I just proved it.
All conjecture and gossip. Yeah. The ninja-ish, right? So I want to hear the scams about the women. I want to hear about him stealing money. Nothing with no proof, though. Right. Here's what the crazy thing. Nobody yet has shown any proof of any misappropriation.
I just showed proof, Umar. The purchase price was $400,000. You said a little more than that. Okay, let's say $420,000. You take that out of the $1.67 million, you're going to have about $1.25 million left over. Have we seen $1.25 million worth of work going to these trap bandos over the last 7 years, 6.5 years? We haven't seen that. And again, like I said, we're not counting 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 2025. There's 11 years worth of you collecting money. And I know Umar, he tells people that he was just started collecting money in April of 2014. I've heard him say May as well. Okay, well, let's just go from 2014, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2025. There's 6 years of money. Just we're not even counting that. See, right now, Umar, you should be sitting on about $1.2 million, and it's unaccounted for. Poof. Now we can subtract. You said the purchase price for the HVAC was $50,000, whatever you said. We can take all those things that you said it was going, all these little different things. There's still about $1 million that's missing, and we're not even counting all those other years. So what you talking about? You're a con man. All right, here we go.
It is all conjecture and gossip, but it sells. And here's the other thing. Because I am so popular amongst our people, the coonocracy, the YouTubian struggle streamers, they know we got to go in extra on him because he got so much positive going on, right? That if we don't flood YouTube.
What does he have that's positive? Umar, you really live in a delusional world. Okay, you got tax liens. You've been homeless since 2019. You don't have a car. You're a baby mama creator. You've been in and out. So you've been arrested for not paying child support. The list goes on and on. And you scamming on top of all that. But let's keep going.
With slander videos, nobody will listen to us. If you notice, most of my detractors, who I never met in the flesh, but I don't even know these people, they don't just do one video. They'll have 20 of them. You say, why you got to do the same video?
Listen, I got more than that. We're going to be reacting to any video that you do, Umar. If you don't know by now. If you don't know by now.
If I just do one, this will get swept up in the wave of positivity he got going on. So if you notice, my haters, they...
Yeah, he really is in a delusional state for him to even be talking like this. Because with Umar, everything's always negative. Remember his bank accounts getting frozen? Is that a conspiracy too? You know, Lenon hacked his bank account. Is that a conspiracy against him too? The city of Wilmington, they were, what did he say? They were trying to steal the buildings from him. What are you talking about, Umar?
Got to work overtime because they got to keep up with all the positive. You see what I'm saying?
That don't even make no sense, Umar.
And in the general scheme of things, they're not winning and they're not going to win.
Yeah, see, he's really delusional. He's just saying anything. Umar, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't get the type of numbers that you get. In fact, my videos that I do about you, covering your videos, get more than the shits in the videos that you do. Did you know that? When I do live streams, I get more people in my chat room live than you do on your Instagram lives. And you got 1.1 million followers. I only have what? 88,000 subscribers. So what are you talking about? You're the struggle streamer. You don't want to live in your mama closet. I don't live in my mama closet. Okay. Here we go.
And the thing that frustrates a lot of people, they say, Dr. Umar, why don't you just take out the financials and show them? Bro, a man who struggles for his people will never be accountable to a man who doesn't. Somebody who's building a relevant institution for his people.
Okay. You're not building anything. Umar, this week I had 2 people who donated to you come on as interview guests. They sent you money. And they realize now that you're a con man. So what are you talking about? And you didn't give them any transparency either, even though you've been on plenty of platforms saying, I update my donors. No, you don't. You lie all the time. We proved that this week. Umar, you something else.
Will never be accountable to somebody who isn't and hasn't helped them do it. You got to understand something. My questions aren't coming from my donors.
Yeah, he is.
My
He crazy.
questions are coming from my detractors.
Okay, listen, that's not true. And that's a rhetoric. Umar says that a lot. But there are plenty of people, and we had 2 of them just this week who came on who donated to Umar. Marianne Loyant donated to Umar. Umar, I mean, the thing is, Umar, you're literally crazy because just with the Marianne Loyant situation, you tried to sue her for $500,000. Everything is bad with you. And then you end up paying out $86,000. I wonder if he mentions that. He don't even mention her name, but $86,000 you paid her. She was someone who supported you, who put together a whole film, put her money into it. You didn't put no money in it, and then you was up there, up over there and acting a damn fool. But that's the narrative that Umar, he says that all the time. It's the haters. It's not, he said that on Lord Jamar, it's my haters. It's not my support. No, there are people who used to support you, but they realize that you're a con man and they don't support you anymore. We took a poll the other day.
Why in the hell would I take time out to answer the questions from somebody?
Yeah. It was $68,800 that he paid out to Marianne Loyant. And the crazy part is he tried to sue her for $500,000 and steal her intellectual property.
I know is diametrically opposed to my success. It don't even make sense. So when people say, Doc, why you don't respond to them? For what?
No, I'm going to tell you why you don't respond, fuck boy. You don't respond because you're a coward. That's why. You a punk. You a sissy. That's why you don't respond. You ain't got no street in you. None. You a punk. That's why you don't respond. Now remember, back in the day, when you thought you was big and bad, you used to run your mouth, you would say my name, you would make up all of these lies, had your followers doing all kinds of crazy shit to me and my wife, and some of them to my kids. Some of them still stalking my kids online. See, you was big and bad back then. Pull up team, and we need to get LenonHonor, and then blah blah blah, and then pull up. We gonna do this, and the ski mask club, or whatever the shit you was saying. You punk. Well, look at you now. You can't even say my name because you're a coward. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. And see, Umar figured it out a long time ago that when he was saying my name, there's people that was coming over here. And I told you people years ago, I said there's always a conversion rate. There's going to be people that's going to come over here. They're going to see what I'm talking about. They're going to see that I'm providing proof, that I have receipts back to back to back to back Memphis on the receipts. And they're going to realize, wait a minute, this guy ain't lying about Umar. Umar was lying about this guy. Some of y'all in the chat room right now. That's why, Umar, you don't respond, because you a punk. Let's finish this up.
See what I'm saying? Just because you got a YouTube page and some internet access don't make you an authority on me and what we trying to do. Now, when we
okay, let me be clear. I am an authority on you with this school scam. I'm working on a documentary right now, covers your whole life and your daddy. Bugaboo. And what we trying to do? Who's we? You ain't doing nothing but scamming. Who's we? So I'm starting to think Umar, he's French.
Open the school. I'm going to have to be on my P's and Q's 10 times more, good brother, because
here he go. Here he go.
Try to destroy it again from the inside. So when it comes time to hire, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to be really careful because they need to get a ninja up in there. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
I'm going to have to be extra tough, bro, because this never ends. Because people say, well, once you open the school, they're going to stop. Where do you live?
Absolutely,
You think this ends when I open the school? No, it just changes into another thing. Because
okay, let's be clear. You ain't open no school. You not gonna open no school. It's been 6.5, almost 7 years. What are you talking about? Hypothetical reality. It's not, he's delusional.
they constantly move the goalposts. Remember, he'll never get a school.
See, this is what you call projecting, but it's also gaslighting. Who's the person that moves the goalpost? If we had time, I'll pull up the other video that's in the documentary where I outline 23 examples, just 23. It's probably closer to 50 examples of Umar changing the grand opening date, going all the way back to 2010 when he said the school was going to open September 11, 2013. 23 examples, and there's plenty more. Who's been moving the goalposts? See, Umar, you're projecting. Okay, you live in an alternate reality. You're the person who continues to move the goalpost. And why do you move the goalpost? Because let's be real about it. You're a failure. You already failed. You're a failure. And it's like everything you do, it's failure, but then you blame other people for it. You never hold yourself accountable. Everything you do is a failure. So you move the goalpost because you fail over and over again. Furthermore, you move the goalpost because you know the longer you keep this going, the longer you can get money out of Black people. You've been unemployed since 2011. You may have worked in 2014 for about 3 months. I'll give you that. I haven't verified it, but I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. But you haven't worked consistently since 2011. You've been living off of Black people now. It's been 15 years since 2010 when you totally give up on your professional career altogether. But you always blame everybody else, but you're the one who's the perpetual failure. And now you concocting this whole thing. It's going to be from the inside out and blah, blah, blah. And they always moving the goalposts. No, you move the goalposts because you know that the longer you keep this going, the longer you can get money out of people. Because you're not a man in the sense that you can handle business day by day so that you can take care of responsibilities that you should take care of as a man, including raising your own children.
I got it.
Yeah.
He'll never open a school. We almost there.
Yeah.
When I open the school, this will never
You're not almost there. This guy's he's such a liar.
stop because they're not after the truth. They're after my destruction.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean by people who are of the darkness, like Umar. They twist things up and they make it seem as if everyone else is the bad person. I don't know if that's the appropriate word to say, but he's actually the person who's in the wrong. You know, like everyone else is out to get him, but he's the one that's evil. He's lying. He's lied throughout this interview. And Faison, he goes with it.
What's the overall goal? Because one of the things I appreciate you a lot about is your the awareness around the school to prison pipeline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Special ed, ADHD. So so I got kicked out of school 4 times, right? As a youth. I never knew this until I became an adult that I actually have ADHD.
Okay.
And as I think back to why I was getting kicked out of school, fighting, things of that nature, but even the special ed piece of it, I got expelled in the 10th grade, and immediately they wanted to put me in special ed. Thank God for my mama, who was like, nope, we're not having it.
She stood up.
And so I just stayed home for the 10th grade and redid the 10th grade over. But where does that passion come from for, special ed, ADHD, neurodivergence, and then even stopping that school to prison pipeline?
When I was in 3rd grade living in North Carolina, my parents were married.
Here you go.
My father was a very rough Marine Corps father. It was then that I said,
yeah, his daddy was abusive. That's really what he's afraid to say it. The closest Umar has come to saying it, he said that his daddy was emotionally abusive, but it went far beyond that. And I knew that long time ago. I told people a long time ago, way before Lenon came out with the information. I said his daddy used to bully him and bully the shit out of him. Listen, Umar, I think that for you, one of the things that you're going to have to deal with at some point, if you're going to get things turned around and stop living in this delusional fantasy where you blame other people, it's always somebody else's fault, is you're going to need to deal with these traumas that go back to your childhood. You can't even admit to what was done to you. And not just you, but to other family members too. And at the age of 51, that's unhealthy. You haven't come to grips with it. But I also think that you still have these, because you're still stuck as a child. I think you still have fears, as if your father is still in your life, and he's going to abuse you because you're stuck in a state of arrested development. So when we talk about mental health, that's a huge issue for you, Umar. That's why you still a punk to this day. Real talk. And I don't mean to tie it back to that, but that's one of the reasons why you're a coward. You guys ever wonder why I tell people I ain't gonna let no man punk me? There's a reason I say that. And it's real. It's true. It's not gonna happen. But Umar, on the other hand, you a punk. I know this is harsh, but I'm saying this because you have to understand that at some point you're going to need to deal with this. And even in this interview, I can tell you want to say it because it'll help with the healing. At least get, that's just part of it. You want to say it, but you're too cowardice and you're not prepared at the age of 51 to admit it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Let me say one other thing. You ain't gonna never be a man until you deal with that. You probably watching right now, punk. You will never be a man until you deal with that.
When I was in third grade living in North Carolina, my parents were married. My father was a very rough Marine Corps father. It was then that I said, I'm going to be the therapist and the psychologist that can help.
What'd I just say? Hit the one. Hit the one. I just said, what I just say? And recently I told people that the reason why Umar, there's other people who said that. In fact, there's other people that said this. Information Man said this one time, or at least one time, that the reason why Umar got into psychology was because he was trying to figure out his own issues, which also ties to his childhood traumas. And it's not just his daddy either. I'm gonna tell you all that right now. You guys ever wonder why? Because I remember there was people say, well, Umar's daddy Jamal, he's an elder and you need to have. I said, fuck you. I know what kind of person he is. I don't care how old you is or how big and bad you think you are. I don't give a shit. I don't bow down to no man. I don't follow no man. I don't put my faith in men. Real talk. You guys ever wonder why I had that orientation towards Jamal Johnson? Because he's an abuser, that's why. Even him coming online and going at Umar and chastising Umar online, that's inappropriate. What kind of father? It's abusive. So here we are with Umar, because I told people before, I said that Umar, he got these issues and that he needs to get the appropriate help. And last week I was talking about this, and then here we are.
My father was a very rough Marine Corps father. It was then that I said, I'm going to be the therapist and the psychologist that can help other children when they have a problem. So third grade,
No. Really what it is Umar is trying to help himself. He's trying to help little Jermaine. I told people this years ago. Even the idea of opening up a school, it's all tied to these childhood traumas, including having a boarding school. Well, that's because they sent him off to a boarding school. Much of what Umar says is like corporal punishment, but that's because it was a military academy. Corporal punishment. Y'all starting to see what I'm talking about? So when Umar says he wants to open up a school, he's trying to deal with these childhood traumas of being shipped away from his mama, and then the trauma that he experienced while he was there and separated from the rest of his family. He's trying to recreate that with FDMG, but it's not because he cares about black boys or because he wants to save black boys from the school to prison. He wants to save himself. He wants to save little Jermaine. That's all this is. That's why FDMG is never going to come into fruition, because this is really about Umar and his traumas that have gone unresolved. It ain't about black people. This is about little Jermaine. That's all this is. And let me tell y'all something else. Little Jermaine isn't innocent either, because little Jermaine sees the world in a way wherein everyone owes little Jermaine something. Just like little kids, they don't realize that you have to contribute. No, everything got to be given to me. I need. That's little Jermaine. Gimme. Recently he was talking like that. Gimme. I need that. Start doing his hand like this, like a little kid. That's what FDMG represents. He's trying to recreate this experience of being shipped off to a boarding school. Remember, initially it was supposed to be a boarding school, right? Children live on campus. Just like he was shipped off to a boarding school, and he, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, separated from his family. That's what this FDMG thing is about. He's trying to resolve childhood trauma. And then him saying, I want to help, boys and such and such. No, he wants to help himself, the little boy in him, little Jermaine, that was abused as a child and bullied by his daddy, who wasn't shit.
My father was a very rough Marine Corps father. It was then that I said, I'm going to be the therapist and the psychologist that can help other children when they have a problem. So third grade, I decided to dedicate my life to helping our children overcome their issues, right?
Notice he says our children. He doesn't take care of his own children. That's what I'm saying. It's not about, quote unquote, our children. It's possessive. Because if it was, he would be taking care of his own children, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not about other people's children, saving black boys, because he can care less about his own children. It's about Umar, little Jermaine.
So, with that, when I graduated from undergrad, I started my master's in a clinical psychology program. But I couldn't afford it. So I said, let me go back to Millersville University, because I can get a grad assistantship and get this paid for. The director, who was Caucasian, sat me down. He said, if you're going back to Millersville, you need to get your school psychology certification. I never heard of school psych because I was never special ed, right? But he said, even if you get your license, if you're not school certified, you can't test in the schools. So I said, let me get this. Best thing I ever did. So I come back to Philadelphia, and I'm an intern, school psychologist intern in the same schools I went to. And I have a Jewish supervisor, right? Snow Bunny. So she's sending me kids to test because I'm working under her, right? And I'm testing these kids, and guess what? Ain't nothing wrong.
Ain't nothing wrong with him. He tells his story over and over again. But this is one of the reasons why Umar, his career ended so quickly in the Philadelphia school district. See? There were other school psychologists that were diagnosing these children, but Umar, because he always goes against the grain. He's talking about how, oh no, and these are people that were that's what I was talking about. I gave that reference earlier. People who and I read it from the documentary because I wrote this today. I've been working on today, where Umar he never would capitulate to authority. So his authorities would say one thing, but he would always go against it. But it had more to do with he wanted to be the person in power. So even if he has to go against them and he knows that what he's saying is wrong, he'll do it anyway. That's just how Umar is. He's always been like. That's why his career as a school psychologist in the Philadelphia school district, it only lasted for 5 years. But he talks as if he was there for 20. It lasted for just 5 years. Yeah, I'll be breaking all that down inside the document. Umar's a trip.
This boy he a genius. What is he here for? Learning disability. Right. So I came face to face with the school to prison pipeline. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. Yeah. They tell black mothers and fathers, your son can't learn as well as the rest. Yep. He needs special ed. And once you go to special ed,
the IEP,
your percentage, and your percentage of going to prison just quadrupled, right? Yep.
Yeah, let's be clear about this. There are people that need to go to special ed, and there's plenty of people who are they're able to succeed in special ed, and they do better because of special education. But again, Umar, he paints this narrative. Part of his conspiracy theory is that special ed, it replaces segregation. This is the conspiracy theory. This is where this comes from. And he says that because the quote unquote white man in these schools, they can't segregate black people, black children from white children anymore. They use special education to segregate, and they put all these black children into special education as if there aren't any white children in there. You guys understand? I want people to understand the context. Umar, this is all based upon a conspiracy theory that Umar's been talking about for decades now. That's the reason why special ed is what it is. It has more. It doesn't have anything to do with helping black boys or anything like that, or black girls for that matter. It has everything to do with resegregation. And the way that it's done is through putting black children in the special education as if white children aren't in there. And as a consequence, because they're put in special education, that now they're on the fast track to being put into prison. That's what this is.
The only psychologist to speak at every prison in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Okay. There's no record of Umar speaking in every single prison in Philadelphia. There's none. That's the first time I've ever heard him say that, but there's no evidence of that. I've done the research. It would come up. This guy, let me go see something. How many, he said prisons, right? Okay. How many prisons are in Philadelphia? So the city of Philadelphia operates 4 main correctional facilities, while the broader prison system includes several other units such as hospital and youth study center, making it a total number of facilities to 8. The 4 primary facilities are the Curran, From Hole, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to take that back. There's no evidence of it, but is it possible to speak at 4 prisons? Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Now, is there any evidence of it? No, I haven't seen it. Okay, but you see how I'm being fair? All right. See, now, again, it's just 4 of them. Okay. There's people, they can do that in a week, Umar. Cut it out. All right, here we go.
And in every prison I've spoken, and I speak in prisons around the world, I ask people to raise their hands, because you got special ed in other places too, because everybody want to do what America do, right? How many of y'all been in special ed? Almost half the inmates in the jail hand go up, even if it's a female jail. Because the average reading level of an incarcerated black person is the 3rd, 4th grade. The average grade level that they put you in special ed is in the 3rd, 4th grade. So answer me this question. If you stayed in school until 10th or 11th when you dropped out, or you got pushed out with a diploma in the 12th, right? You in jail now. You're reading on the 3rd or 4th. You got...
Yeah, it's always the worst case scenario with this guy.
Referred for special ed in the 3rd or 4th. But you didn't stop school until 10th, 11th, and 12th. How the hell you go through an extra 6 and 7 years of school and you still can't read? Nobody taught you.
Wow.
Our children, bro, don't suffer from SLD, specific learning disability.
Yeah.
They suffer from ABT. You know what ABT is? I ain't never been taught.
In my experiences, the people that went to jail the most was the ones that weren't in school. They was out there in them streets. Real talk. But that's just me. Okay, Southern California. Okay.
I ain't never been taught how to read. I ain't never been taught how to count. I ain't never been taught how to comprehend. I'm gonna tell you this right now. As long as most black children
Listen, if you ain't been taught how to read and taught how to count, that's a parent problem. So don't just try to demonize the school system. That's a parent problem. But Umar, you don't know that because you a deadbeat. You ain't taught no kid nothing. Umar's never taught no children either, too, by the way. Never been certified as a teacher, never taught as a teacher. Anyway.
globally are taught by white people. African people will never have a resurrection.
Wow.
I've spoken on every continent. I'm the only scholar alive, to my knowledge,
Here you go. This is all narcissism.
of our race to be invited to speak on every continent more than once this century. I ain't been to a country.
Yeah, there's no, how do you know that, Umar? Cut it out.
Country, county, city, or continent yet where most African children are being taught by white people or through a white curriculum. In Africa, Nigeria, I see it. In Africa, as you know, just like here, uppity blacks, they will pay extra money.
Here you go. It's all negative, disrespect. Nigerians, they do very well, too, academically. So I don't know what you're talking about, Umar.
For them to get a better Caucasian indoctrination. You follow me? Yeah.
They all disrespectful. Yeah, he's been in Antarctica as well. Yeah, he been in Antarctica.
Pay extra for them to sit in front of this white Jesus picture all day. I'm like, yo, traveling the world inspired me to build FDMG on a whole new level. So when you
see this, there is no FDMG.
Say what is the end game for me, right? Yeah. So Pan Africanism, this is a major struggle. It's been going on for hundreds.
He all over the place.
Years, it could go on for hundreds more. Who knows, right? Yeah. So what is going to be my contribution? My contribution is I want to go back to my ancestors when I
to get donations. Okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to read these super chats and I'm going to let it play out. I'm still going to be here and hanging out, but because I don't want to carry this over until to next month. Let me do these real quick. On my mama says, Umar must have never heard of, if you knew my story, you'd know my glory. We all grow. No one is perfect, but we make it through. Yeah, no, and I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Yeah. The problem with Umar too is that he's afraid of dealing with his story. And that's why things don't work out. He's afraid of it. There's always a problem with this guy. He always blames other people for the problems. But Umar, he hasn't dealt with this story, so he knows nothing about getting over all of that so that you can get to the glory. That's very well said here. Thank you on my mama. Because life, Umar, he paints it as everything is just bad all the time. See, I think maybe for him in his mind, but then he lives in a delusional state at the same time. Then when you have to deal with all the badness, it's like Lenon said, his personality is what's the term? He has an avoidance personality where he avoids things, but you're not going to fix things if you're just avoiding them. Now, Umar, he's an interesting character. Thank you, my mama. YouTube says put Lenon on blast, but not these contractors. Okay, yeah, that's a good example right there. If all this is true, why don't you come out and why don't you go and try to sue these contractors like he tried to sue Mary Ann Lawrence, and then he goes in with the fish tank stuff talking about Lenon. Why don't you name these contractors then, Umar? Because it doesn't exist. He just lies to me, and he makes up these lies. He believes them too. That's the crazy part. He's nuts. He makes up the lies to have excuses to keep on this thing going. It's always someone else's fault. Thank you, Javai. The Smart Barbie says, anybody who answers the question with "there is no proof" is lying. You don't find that suspicious? Yeah. Again, I provided the proof. Anything Umar says that I don't have proof of, I have proof of. And I'm talking about things that I have said about Umar. If he says I don't have proof, I have proof of it. I just proved it during this live stream. See? When I say that Umar, his career as a school psychologist in the Philadelphia School District lasted for 5 years, I can provide the proof of that. I'm also fair. After that, he on and off, because you can see it based upon what he says, but you can also see it based upon his child support docket. He's not working consistently after that. And that's when he starts having all these financial problems. I've done my research. Furthermore, you'll also see that he's working, but it's intermittently. It's not consistently, and he's not working in the Philadelphia School District anymore because his reputation pursued. He screwed all that up. He starts working in the charter school system, and he starts screwing that up so that by the time he gets to 2010, 2011, he's not even working as a professional anymore to any capacity. So if people want to be real about it, Umar as a professional, whether that's a school psychologist, a vice principal, or a principal, or what he says there's a term he was using. It's nebulous. Okay, I'll outline this inside of the documentary. You put all that together, really, and then the inconsistencies after 2005. It could be argued that Umar worked for about 7 years, maybe 8 years total. But then he tells people that he's been this therapist, and there's times he says psychotherapist for 20 years. He was saying that back in 2017. We're in 2025 now. That would be 2000. He's saying 25 years. He's saying in 2025, he says he's been working as this professional for 25 years. No, you guys go and do the math. I'm talking about if you put it all as if it was consistent, you add it all up in terms, not by years that he may have worked sometime, but you put it all together where Umar's working, and it's going to come out to about 7 years, not 25. And I can prove it based upon what he says, and you can look and cross-reference with his child support where the court is trying to figure out where is this guy working. It's called generic orders. They can't even find out where. Well, that's because he's not working. And then there's wage garnishments, and they tell the where Umar used to work, they're telling him, go ahead, you can take that off. And the reason why is because Umar's no longer working there. Anyway, I can go on and on with this. Thank you to Smart Barbie. Miranda also says ADHD conduct disorder is real in this. And he said parents won't get phone calls. Yeah, it is real. But see, Umar says that it's not real because he's unwilling to deal with it in himself. Like I was talking about earlier, the avoidance personality. I have Umar on record admitting that he struggled with ADHD for his whole life. And it's clear with you guys. You look at Umar when he's talking. You look at how he lives with the hoarding, and then he got stuff all over the place, and he's disorganized. He can't organize anything because his mind's all over the place. He's never dealt with it, so he doesn't have the skill set, and he hasn't been taught the methodology to be able to cope with it. The coping mechanisms, and there are coping mechanisms. Some of y'all up in here are ADHD, but highly successful in life. There's a lot of people, they have these different things, and they're men, in some cases, billionaires. They're functional, but they have coping mechanisms. What's the guy, Tesla guy? He's different. He's one of the richest men on the planet, too. Highly successful. But the point is that Umar, he hasn't dealt with his own issues, including the ADHD. Lenon, when the conduct disorder students goes off in them bandos, oh my goodness, what will Umar do? Well, according to Umar, he's going to pound their damn chest in. That's what he said. That's that corporal punishment. That's part of that military thing. And Umar wasn't prepared for that because he was a punk back then. He's still a punk. He wasn't prepared for that. That's one of his main trauma. Separated from his mama. Sent off away from the family. But he hasn't dealt with it. He's going to have to figure something out in physical touch, ain't it? Yeah, the thing is, thankfully, he's never going to have a school. So that's the saving grace in all of this. He wouldn't be able to, he can't even take care of himself. He can't even maintain his own emotional state. How's he going to deal with some children? He don't know how to deal with children. I can already tell that. He don't like dealing with children. He don't talk to children the right way. He ain't ever been around children to where he's taking care of them or even educating them. He don't even like children. I can tell. There's people who really like being around children. It's cool. Hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but not Umar. He sees them like pests. That's Umar. Thanks, Miranda. Okay, let's wind this down. Information Man says, where are the testimonies of kids who are adults now that Umar helped speak on this? But there are no testimonials. I've said this before, that if Umar was doing all this work in the school system, going all the way back to 2000, this is 25 years later with the internet and how kids, there's kids that was raised on the internet. They would be out and doing videos to talk about how Umar helped them and all the stuff that he did and how he did this for them, blah, blah. Where's that at? We don't see that because it doesn't exist. Like I said, Umar wants to pretend as if he's been this psychotherapist. That's what he's been. One of the things he was saying recently. I said, or not recently, but in the video I was going through and editing today, a psychotherapist, no, a school psychologist. Okay. 2000 to 2005 in the Philadelphia School District, and then intermittently in the charter school system in Philadelphia. Okay. I should say in Pennsylvania. Okay. Well, we would think, and that goes to 2010. Okay. Where are 2010, 2011? Okay. Where are all the testimonials? It doesn't exist. Okay. Umar lives, he really does. He lives inside a fantasy land. And what he's done is he's painted these narratives. He's repeated these lies over and over again that he's some great school psychologist. And then his followers, they believe it without any proof. No, he said there ain't no proof. No, you Umar Johnson followers, what you should do when Umar says anything, say, okay, well, where's the proof of this? If the school was renovations were complete back in 2023, where's the proof of this? There is no proof because the renovations aren't complete. That's why he's still talking about it in 2025. Anything. Umar says that black people, we use 90% of all beauty products in the United States. We buy 90% of, okay, well, if that's the case, where's the proof of that? It doesn't exist because he's making up statistics. But the same thing with this whole idea that, he saved all these black boys. Okay, where's the proof of this? It doesn't exist because he didn't do that. So always ask for proof with Umar. Ask for proof with everybody, including myself. But with Umar, thank you, Information Man. Shout out to Information Man. Black Wolf says, Marine Corps is not associated with Jamal being abusive. My dad is a Marine vet. He was strict instructor, but definitely wasn't abusive to our family. Yeah, I get that too. The point is that Jamal, he was abusive. Okay, even like I said, even him coming out and going at Umar the way that he did shows that he wasn't a loving father, because that's not what a loving father would do. But the other thing is that he didn't have a relationship with Umar. Well, whose fault is that? That's his fault. That goes back to Umar's childhood. So he abandoned that family and had to start a whole nother family. Had all these kids with all these different women. Bullied Umar, and I told people that a long time. You remember that? I told people that a long time ago. I could tell Umar was bullied. His daddy bullied him because he's an abuser. That ain't because he's in the Marine Corps. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that because he was abusive. Umar's just unwilling to admit that. He kind of says it, but he doesn't say it directly. I think he still fears his daddy. See right there? That's what I'm talking about. You're never going to be a man that you need to be in life if you still fear your father. Real talk. That goes to show you how deep his trauma goes. But again, we're not talking about a grown man who's 51. We're talking about a little boy who's in a grown man's body, who's in a state of arrested development. That's Umar. Yeah, thanks, Black Wolf. And good. Thank you for that comment too. Information Man says Umar is a little boy in a man's body, needs help. I just said it. Yeah, but actually you said this like 20 minutes ago, so you own it. Thank you, brother. Right on. Enterprise says he's having a therapy session right now. Listen, yeah, I picked that up when he was talking. His voice started getting, but that's what I'm saying. Umar has to deal with these other lingering issues. Yeah, he really needs help. Simply Complicated says, here's the thing with ancestor work that I've learned. You can't be right with the ancestors without being right with the family you have in the present. Yeah, that's well. See, the thing is that the ancestors would be part of the family though too, right? I'm talking about culturally speaking, or if you want to say with different spiritual systems. But Umar doesn't even take care of his kids, and they part of it too. Yeah, it's just total contradiction all the way across the board. That's why there was some African people who left comments, and one of them said that there was a practicer with the ephod, and they were basically explaining how what Umar is doing is it's actually sacrilegious to what the true form of that is about. But I'm not surprised by that, because Umar, that's what he does. He's a plagiarist. He'll take stuff, he'll turn it into something else and try to make it into whatever he wants it to be. But if it's about the ancestors and all this stuff, well, okay, well, what about your children in the first place, Umar? See, Umar has spent more time talking to his ancestors than he has with his own children. Let that sink in for a moment. It's a disgrace. Thank you, Simply Complicated. And then Love Jones says, there's no proof equals I did it, can't catch me. That sounds like some Umar would say to you, can't catch me. Then he start running. Thank you, Love Jones. And then Gina says, so Lenon, in your opinion, what's Umar's end game? Umar's, he doesn't have an end game in terms of FDMG. He wants to keep this going as long as possible. What Umar's goal is just to simply get money out of people. At the end of the day, he doesn't have a way to provide for himself and make a way for himself in the world because he's in a state of arrestment. It's like a little boy. Like literally, he's like a little boy. So in the absence of having that ability, his mind, and he's been doing this for decades now, his mind is wired at this point to where, and he just wants to figure out ways to get money out of people. And he'll do whatever he has to. Then, of course, sexual exploitation. But the money thing, that's just his motivating factor. So it's not that he has an end game or he has a goal in mind. He'll say we want to open up a school, but come on. It is that he wants to figure out a way to keep whatever going so that he can keep getting money out of people. And in this case, what he's been keeping going is this FDMG school scam. Again, I don't think it's gonna last past another year and a half. I should say a year and 5 months now, because I said this about a month ago. If it's shut down today, what Umar would do is he'll just try to find something else to dangle in front of people to get money out of people, because his mind is wired that way. He doesn't think it's always about survival. And he's been doing this for decades now. For decades. It's actually been more than decades. It's been over a decade, over 2 decades, over 20 years. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Umar doesn't have an end game. What he has is a goal, and the goal is survival. And he does that by exploiting Black people. And that's all it comes down to. Thank you, Gina, for the super chat. Okay, I don't think we're going to get to this because there's still 30 more minutes. Let me just see if he says anything about the school. So at least we can get to that.
Leave this earth as being the first superintendent of a truly global Pan-African school district. You see what I'm saying? In other words, you in Atlanta now. Yeah. We got FDMG Atlanta.
He can't even finish he don't even know how to clean a toilet. What you talking about a Pan-African school district? This guy, I'll tell y'all, he out there.
You say, Doc, I got to go to Jamaica for a few years on business. We got FDMG Jamaica. I got to go to Liberia, FDMG Liberia, FDMG France, FDMG London, FDMG Canada. You see that? Yep. So no matter where you take your child, they don't lose out on instruction because every school got the same curriculum. We've never had a global Pan-African school district. That's my goal. Start with this school in Delaware. They say your first one is always the hardest. Once we pop that, I think we're going to be able to open.
Once we pop that. He said this in an interview like 4 years ago, the same thing. And then recently he said, once we get that first one, they're going to start popping like popcorn. Who are funny?
Because here's the thing. Back to the negativity that you mentioned, a lot of people.
Grand delusions.
And a lot of other people are still on the narcissism fence. It's like I listened to him.
Yeah. Don't nobody believe this shit, Umar. Cut it out. I mean, he really is out there. Like he's so delusional.
Could he still be a scammer? I guess he could.
No, listen, you are one. Cut it out. I guess he could.
Has to speak good, right? So they're like, I don't know, because they're looking at both arguments, and unfortunately, they don't critically analyze enough because there's no proof to that argument. But nonetheless,
see that? He's been watching these videos because it's always about the critical analysis, and I always provide receipts. Who are you watching right now? You watch right now. Yeah, let me give you some quick advice, homeboy. Set your mama free. She's not your slave. Start there. She's not your prisoner. She's not your possession. Set your mama free.
They're looking at both sides. Once we open that school, I think a lot of people on the fence are going to help us open all the rest of the schools. You see what I'm saying? So
well, he's delusional.
Once we get through this, I think the world is ours.
Nah, I love that. I love that. If you had $100 million right now to spend on Black
Watch him start sniffing and shit, rubbing his nose.
Liberation today, how would you allocate that money?
I would choose a city, and it would probably be one of our blackest cities.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a Detroit, probably Detroit or Memphis. Probably Detroit. I'm going to get less pushback because Chicago, they didn't already target it, right? So I'm going to go.
Here he go. Here he go.
To a black city that's very concentrated, maybe a Jackson, Mississippi, a Detroit, a Jackson, a Memphis. Atlanta is already pretty well off, even though Atlanta still needs its independent black infrastructure too, because I don't think we got a black hospital here. You follow me? So we still got some ways to go. But I would take that 100 million, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, school, hospital, bank, supermarket, manufacturing and distribution. Manufacturing distribution, that's your jobs.
Yeah.
Hospital, save the people. Supermarket, feed the people. Bank, invest in the people. School, teach the people. That's my 100 mil right now.
You can't even clean the toilet and you ain't even got a job. Cut it out.
Love it.
Into what you said real quick.
Yeah.
If
Here
it's
he
that
go.
simple,
Right.
and I got Jay-Z.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Jay, you can't drop 20 mils? Tiger Woods, 20 mils? Beyonce.
Okay, wait a minute. You disrespected Beyonce and you disrespected Jay-Z. You disrespected Tiger Woods. Say it's gonna give you 20 million?
Hey, and I love Beyonce. 20 mil. Kanye, 20 mil.
You used to call him a bunny hopper.
Bob Johnson, 20 mils. Oprah, you feel
You clown Bob Johnson too. I got that in my notes. Oprah? Yeah, you talk shit about Oprah too.
me?
Yeah.
You mean if it's that easy?
Yeah.
Our black billionaire class should have at least 5 Black Wall Streets.
I agree.
They ain't gave us one.
Yeah.
What hurts me?
Umar, you haven't given anybody anything, and they working. They've been working for decades. Some of them for a half a century to build up their empire. You haven't done a damn thing living in your mama closet. Shame on you. Shame on you, bro. You've been homeless since 2000. You got some nerve since 2019. You ain't worked consistently since 2011. You got some nerve. Ain't even, and see, the thing is, you was running a legitimate business. Okay, but you ain't even running a legitimate business. You just been scamming, living off of black people. You a leech and a bum. You got some nerve.
Yeah. I don't know of a black billionaire who has built an independent institution.
Yeah.
Do any of them have a hospital? Do any of them got a school? I'm not talking.
Umar, do you have a hospital? No. Do you have a school? No. You have abandoned buildings using black people's money. You put no money in.
Talk about no charter school, LeBron. That's a public school.
Here he go. He got to take his shots.
School. Right. That ain't yours, right?
Right.
Umar, you don't have a school either with your claws. Put your claws down.
And of course, people say, well, wait till they retire.
Right.
We done been down that road.
Do you think like
I told you, he's gonna start sniffing once they talk about that 100 million. Didn't I tell y'all hit the one? That money automatically, because he's thinking all this, it's hypothetical, but he has a physiological. That's Umar. Told y'all. Notice all he's doing is talking shit about black people.
do they know something
Successful black people.
that we don't know?
They
Right?
do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what they know.
Here he go. He making this up on the spot.
higher you are on the totem pole, the closer you are to brutal white power. Jay-Z knows more than you and I ever could what could happen to him if he stepped out of line. Oprah knows more than you and I ever could if she stepped out of line. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again,
Faison got on some Jordans. This is wild.
they just reminded them with Puff.
Right.
With Puff.
Right.
Here we go.
You gonna do what?
Yeah.
Puffy was the warning
Yeah.
to all black billionaires.
Yeah.
I know we in the woke. Y'all woke.
Yeah.
You can be woke all you want.
Yeah.
You better not put it into action.
It's funny though because there was a moment where
Puffy wasn't woke. He was a dope. He was a drug addict. Cut it out. Let's be real about this. He was a woman. He was a woman beater, a drug addict with mental health issues. Talking about he woke. Cut it out, Umar. What's up, Lene? Umar represents the problem with Du Bois' philosophy with the talented. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, you're right about that. Yes, you're right about that. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I ain't never seen nobody like this in my life. I ain't never seen nobody like Umar. Anybody in here ever seen somebody like Umar? You know how let's just use basketball, like there's a generational talent that comes along every once in a while. That's why you rarely see him on the same team. Even Kobe, I don't see that Kobe was he wasn't like a life coming in to league. He wasn't like a once in a lifetime player. He made himself into one of the all-time greats through hard work and dedication. The point is that you see these basketball players come through, and every once in a while you get one of them that like you ain't gonna see another one like them in your lifetime. Shaquille O'Neal, you ain't gonna never see another Shaq. Jordan, you ain't gonna never see another Jordan. And right now, with what Wemby's doing, is possible if he keeps this up. You ain't gonna never see nobody like Wemby. LeBron James, you ain't gonna see enough. So in basketball, you see these people who come along, and you can say, hey, listen, there's not gonna ever be a person like that that's gonna come along again, not in our lifetime. Well, that's Umar in a bad way, though. I ain't never seen nothing. He's so delusional. He lies, I mean, so effortlessly. I've never seen that. I've seen people lie, and they're good liars. But to lie so effortlessly and then be able to just spin these narratives and gaslight people, and the delusions of grandeur, the narcissism, I've never seen anything. I don't think we'll ever see anything like this in our lifetime. I don't think so. No. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Lene too. I know I've been saying it a lot lately, but you with your courage and what you've done, it's just opened up so much for a lot of people. It really has. Umar has not been the same since you came out and exposed him. And in particular, once Umar did that fish tank video, he sealed it right there. He sealed his own fate. But that wouldn't have happened if you didn't have the courage to do what you did. So much respect to you. Much respect to you. Whenever I watch these and I'm watching the replay and you're in there, I always look at your comments because I don't think people realize you know more about Umar than most people do, because you are around him and you saw how he is like in the real world. Okay, most of us, we see the internet stuff, but you were able to see, even though it wasn't for an extended well, no, actually, I'm just talking. Yeah, no, it was for a while, because we can look at the time period where you put the event together for him, and then you guys were communicating back and forth before you went out to Philadelphia. You have a special insight into this guy, and I know like I highly doubt you've ever been around somebody like this. And you know more about Umar in terms of who he really is than what we can gather from watching videos. But at the end of the day, for you to do what you did, it's opened so much up for a lot of people. Okay, so salute to you. Much respect. It's incredible. I said it before. All the videos I've done on Umar, it's a gang of them for years. It pales in comparison to women who come out and share their experience with Umar, because it becomes real. Yeah, it becomes real. Yeah. So thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. All right. I gotta go to bed. Let me just see anything else he says about FDMG or school related.
After that video leaked and Diddy,
which one? The Cassie.
The Cassie video leaked. Diddy was on live apologizing.
I remember that.
It did not look like he was apologizing to Cassie. To me, it felt.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, watch it again, because he was like, I just want to apologize. I was in a dark place. And it kind of felt like, and, if we think about, him speaking about Black liberation, suing Diageo, he was on the InvestFest stage, talking about,
we need our own political.
It don't matter. He was still a woman beater, and he was a drug addict, and he has mental health issues. So cut it out. It doesn't excuse his behavior. We saw the video. I don't get it, boy. I really don't. You guys got to do better than this, including this guy right here. You got to do better than this.
On all that stuff. the moment he started doing that, that's when
they jammed him.
They jammed him, and then when I watched that, I said to myself, I said, this don't look like this is an apology to, you know, to Cassie. It looked like, you know, he has no ways to reach those people, so he did it, you know, inconspicuously, where he's like, look.
No. You're just spinning a false narrative. This is what conspiracy theory. He didn't mean it. It wasn't that he was trying really sincerely. He wasn't contrite. He wasn't sincerely apologizing. That was more damage control. That's all this shit is. Cut it out.
I'm sorry, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nothing. I was in a dark place. Get me back where I need to go. That's what it felt like to me.
I got you. I could definitely see that. But my thing with Cassie, the same thing with Bill Cosby, because you know when they brought Bill Cosby case in, they brought Bill Cosby case in with maybe a couple days before the statute of limitations expired.
Yeah.
They got him right.
Yeah.
And the woman who brought the case, she was under a gag order in the settlement with Cosby, just like Cassie. I'm trying to understand, if I pay you to shut up and go away, how can you still be brought in to testify against me? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Umar, are you foreshadowing something, homeboy? We're going to end it right there. What we'll do is we'll come back next week, and it'll just be part of a different show, not part of the series, and we'll finish the rest. I think it's like 20 more minutes on here. I tell you. I would apologize, but we had a good time. I'm just tired. I got to go to bed, y'all. I got to go to bed. Got to get up extra early tomorrow. But we'll pick it up right here at some point in the near future. Let me thank everyone. Thanks everyone for tuning on in. I know it was a much longer show than what I anticipated. Let me close out this poll as well. There are two more super chats that just came in. The poll question, we had over 1,793 votes. Can we get 7 more so we get to 1,800? Okay, can we make that happen? And we got 739 likes. Let's see if we get to 750. Okay, that means we need 11 more likes. We're at 741, so we need 9 more. So the poll question was, does Umar have a good excuse for blocking the brother who tried to donate 225 student desks to FDMG? 7% said yes. 93% overwhelmingly said no. I don't know what you 7%. He probably Umar Johnson filed. Umar he got about 100 accounts. He up there, switching to get the votes up. So let me close that poll out. Oh, we need 3 more votes. Can we get 3 more votes? It's updating right now. We got to 756. So thank you guys so much for that. Also, thanks to the mods for handling business. I appreciate it. Unless Umar goes live Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I don't plan on live streaming. So, and that's just been the schedule. If he does go live and it's something worth covering, I'll get on here over the weekend. If that doesn't happen, we'll be back probably on Monday. And there's other videos that I've been meaning to get to. One was recommended by Lenon, and then we'll kind of combine this video with the other videos so that we can make sure that we cover all this. But we got to the stuff with the FDMG stuff. Okay, we got to go. Thank you so much, everyone who voted. Let me go ahead and close out this poll so this archived here on YouTube. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you didn't hit the like, we might get to 800. As a matter of fact, I'll do a show outros to see if we can get to. We'll see if we get to 800. We're at 773. If you like the show and you haven't hit that like button, go and hit that like button. It helps you get this out to the algorithm. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Okay, it went way longer than what I anticipated, but this is some deep stuff. I'm wondering if at some point Umar, he realizes that he's going to need to deal with this childhood stuff. He'll never be a man, fully functional man until he does so. And I just kind of noticed, when he did the video where he was going in on his baby mamas and he had the belt, he was kind of talking about his daddy. He actually cursed his daddy, but he was like, yeah, he was emotionally abusive. No, it was more than that. Right. And then in this video, you can kind of hear him kind of suggesting a little bit more. Umar, you don't even have to express that even publicly. Go and go to a therapist, go to someone to talk to about these issues from your childhood. And it's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, I have that picture too, Umar. I have that picture. And, I know that's why I don't like talking about that bumpity bump, but I have that picture and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the one that Tyreek showed from Hidden Colors. That's not what I'm talking about. That's why I've always been careful as I could be about that bumpity bump, but that's still not an excuse for you to be doing what you're doing sexually when you got that going on. And I know Umar. I know where that comes from. See, you need to really start getting, and you need to start digging deep on these issues if you're ever going to live a wholesome, happy life. And nothing's going to get better. In fact, it's going to get worse. And I told you that. I told you it's going to get worse. I told you that this was the beginning. Okay, but you hard-headed and you don't listen. All right, I'm trying to help you out. I know, yeah, you always criticize, yeah. But see, Umar, if you had a man like me in your life when you were young, you wouldn't be where you're at today. I guarantee you. Real talk. Shout out to the Cookware chat. We need 11 likes. Let's go ahead and play an outro just to see if we can get those 11 likes. Thank you guys so much. What's up, man, David? We 8 more likes. Cookware chat undefeated. We need. Oh no, we got it. Thank you guys so much. We got to the goal. What's up? Thank you, Information Man. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Shout out to Cookware chat undefeated.
FDMG.
I'm just playing.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Umar Johnson. I am a certified school psychologist.
Hi, Dr. Umar. I'm so happy that you're my principal. I love FDMG. Can you tell me about the school?
We are going to make history. We are going to shock the world. We are going to transform the entire community, one black boy at a time. In this school, you don't have to worry about special education. In this school, you don't have to worry about ADHD diagnoses. In this school, you will never get a phone call from a teacher
or an
day administrator telling you that your child needs dangerous psychiatric medication in order
shout out to Brooklyn.
Get an
Shout out to Brooklyn. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. Cookware Chat's undefeated. I appreciate y'all. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired, dude. Shout out to Nate.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Yeah, Money Mastery. In this school.
FDMG is coming.
Yeah, he watching right now. He watching.
It's coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Good night.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Y'all keep saying that. No good.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
What's up, Starso?
Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
Boy, y'all crazy. The Anunnaki is coming. Okay, I remember all of that stuff. Thank you, Laurie. All right, thank you guys again for tuning on. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay, we'll be back on Monday for sure. Unless Umar goes live, and then if so, over the weekend we'll get together. Thank you guys. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in super chat, super stickers. If you sent in CashApp or PayPal, thank you guys so very much. And shout out to the mods, Cookie Crush Chats Undefeated. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.